A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio.
And now, the life of Mary Sothern. The tense atmosphere of the past few weeks has relaxed with the completion of the deal to build a new factory in Sanders, and Jeffrey Barton's promise to Daddy Stratford that he will back his hotel. Mary and Max would be very happy if it weren't for their great concern over Phyllis, Max's crippled sister. Her case is a pitiful one. A young wife, suddenly stricken and unable to walk. Her two babies being cared for at the clinic because she has been unable to look after them. Mr. Barton has tried to reach the famous Dr. DeRoy in an effort to help her, but so far he has been unable to locate this great specialist. Trust Mary to think of nice surprises, especially for Phyllis. This morning, she has a surprise for the invalid girl which we know will bring her a great deal of happiness. As the scene opens, we find Mary driving to the Stratford bungalow. She has recognized Danny on the street and has stopped to pick him up.
Danny! Oh, Danny! Danny, over here!
Oh, hiya, Mary. Where are you going?
Over to your house. Come on, hop in.
Well, I wasn't going home, but I suppose I might as well take a free ride.
Sure. You'll be glad you did when you take a peek in that basket.
What have you got back there? The family wash?
Why don't you look and see?
Well, it looks like a bunch of blankets and a pair. Well, I'll be Danny Jr.
Now he's sound asleep. Angel.
Gosh, Mary, he looks terrific.
Isn't he adorable? Oh, Danny, be careful. Don't tip the basket while I'm turning this corner.
He's getting to look more like Phyllis every day.
Oh, he looks just like you, Danny.
You think so, Mary?
I really do, Danny. Has your nose and the same eyes, especially when he smiles.
He's waking up so he'll smile.
Oh, don't you dare. I want those to see him just like this, sleeping like a little cherub. Can't you just see your face when I put him in your arms?
Can I? Well, gee, it's been breaking our heart to have him away from us.
It'll break me a little this heart, Danny. These baby years are the sweetest of all.
Oh, my poor honey bunch is missing so much.
Do you think people probably can never remember years ago?
What's he done, Mary? Getting me down, too.
Now, Danny, you can't get down. It's up to us to make things as pleasant and normal for us.
Mary, you don't understand.
Yes, I do, Danny. But if you think it's hard for you, remember it's doubly hard for Phyllis. At least you get out occasionally. She's tied to a wheelchair.
If that Dr. DeRoy would only come back to Chicago so that Mr. Barton could ask him to come here and look at her. You know, I never wish he could help her now.
Have you spoken with academically about him, Danny?
No.
Oh, nothing. I just wondered. Oh, here we are, almost go past the house.
Is there something you wanted to tell me? Something the doctor didn't say?
Oh, no, Danny. I only spoke to him a few minutes myself the other day. Max and I teased him about Laura Barton most of the time.
Oh. I thought maybe he was worried about Phyllis.
Well, he'd tell you himself if he thought there was anything you should know.
Yeah, I guess he would. Hey, look at those clouds. We're going to get some rain.
Oh, put the car in the garage, will you, Danny? Max just polished it this morning.
Huh. No wonder it's going to rain.
Yeah, it always does the minute Max washes the car. I'll run in with the baby.
Okay, take it easy with my son.
Oh, don't you worry about Danny Jr. Oh, Phyllis. Phyllis, dear.
I'm in here, Mary.
Oh, I brought you a surprise. Now close your eyes, darling. Hold out your arms.
They're closed tight. What'd you bring, Mary?
Careful now. Hold tight. And don't wake him up. Oh, Mary. Isn't that a nice surprise? My little baby.
I was sitting here thinking about him. Oh, you're sweet, isn't he? Look at the way he sleeps. With his little fingers curled under. Not a care in the world, thank heaven.
Remember when he was born, Phyllis? Danny said he looked worried because he was all wrinkled.
Danny's such a baby himself.
Oh, all men are. Danny's outside, you know. I brought him home with me. Put in the car in the garage.
Oh, lovely. I bet he was surprised when he saw you with the baby.
He thought he had a bundle of wash on the back seat of the car.
Oh, some nerve calling this precious angel
Oh,
wash.
she apologized. Oh, say, it's getting dark. Guess we're going to have a storm.
Yes, I could feel it coming all morning.
Oh, dear.
Well, my back always hurts a little when it's going to rain.
Oh, well, could I have it for you, darling?
No, it's all right. I want to hold my baby for a little while.
All right. Well, I'll go out and make some tea. I brought some of those spiced cupcakes, and when Danny comes in, we'll have a party, huh?
Fun. Did you bring milk for Danny Jr. so it isn't in on the party?
Well, I certainly did. And a nice big piece of Zwieback, too.
Oh, my, won't my little fella enjoy it?
If you need anything, dear, just call me.
I will.
Oh, here it comes. Danny, be sure and close the garage doors.
I'm trying to, Mary. The lock's busted.
Well, hurry up or you'll be soaked. Starting to come down.
Okay.
Mary? Yes, dear, coming. What is it, Phil? What's the matter?
Very quick, take the baby out.
I haven't either. Oh, wait a minute. I'll put him in the bed. What is it, dear? What's wrong?
My back it started to pain me. I'm afraid of dropping the baby.
Oh, honey, that's awful. Has it ever been like this before?
No. Guess it's the rainy weather.
Oh, slow down. He'll give you something. Just lie back.
No, don't fuss, Mary. It feels better now, honestly. It was just those awful pains.
Yes, I know, but I think we'll feel better if Johnny here. Danny will grab her.
No, Mary, Danny don't be
But
worried.
Phyllis.
Please, Mary. Dr. Benson's kind, but he's almost said he can't do any more. Oh, I wish that Dr. DeRoy were here. I just feel he could help me.
Darling, Mr. Barton's doing everything he can to locate him.
I know. He's been so good that...
Darling, again?
Well, I'm sorry I'm such a baby. It's this awful rainy weather. I just can't seem to stand it.
Oh, I tell you, I can't stand any more of this rain.
Well, it has been unusually miserable weather, Dr. DeRoy. It's ruined your stay here at the lake.
Completely. Well, we haven't had sunshine in 3 days.
Perhaps tomorrow it will be pleasant, Doctor.
Perhaps. I should like to enjoy a few days of this little vacation. I hadn't realized until we left Chicago that the lecture tour had been so exhausting.
You worked very hard this past month, Doctor.
Well, it's nearly over now. We'll be returning to Switzerland soon.
Switzerland.
You sound homesick, Paul.
I am a little, Doctor.
No wonder. Especially in this depressing weather. Look. Just look at that rain. It feels as if it would never stop. Paul, pack the bags. I've had enough of this. We're going back to Chicago. How often we fret and fume at what appears to be misfortune, only to find it a blessing in disguise. Phyllis hated the rain, which she felt increased her suffering. But it is that very rain that is bringing Dr. DeRoy back to Chicago. Once he returns, he'll find Mr. Barton's message, urging him to come to Sandals. Will the skill of this famous specialist find a cure for Phyllis?
Adventures in Time and Space, transcribed in future tense.
Dimension
Can you predict what will come in 100 years? Can you see beyond the known dimensions of time and space into the unknown, Dimension X? In 1987, Atlantic Spaceport was established on the site of old Fort Devon outside of Boston. And as the ships pushed deeper and deeper into space, the time of voyage increased by geometrical progression. It became more and more difficult to persuade able spacemen to sign on for flights which lasted for years, 10 to 15 monotonous years in the cramped forecastle of a deep spacer. The bar rooms and one-armed joints in Scully Square in Boston were plastered with recruiting posters for the deep space star runs. Flashy four-color signs with a blue-eyed young man gazing into a star-studded sky.
Seek your future in the stars. Jeff, there's your last chance to get out of the wedding.
Sure. Just send Judith a short note. I can't get away to marry her today. I'm 300 million light years away.
Very funny, very funny. Well, think it over, boy. Tomorrow, the shackles of matrimony.
But tonight, the stars.
The mystery of the galaxy.
Eat, drink, and be merry, for tomorrow you commit matrimony.
Oh, come on. We came here to have a little fun. We might as well be at Mother's Music Hall on Commonwealth Avenue.
Please. The problems of the rich. Hey, Jeff, just where does the coffin fortune come from,
I guess it started in Nantucket. My great-great-something or other used to be a whaler.
A whaler? There she blows!
A dead whale or a stove boat? Watch my trusty harpoon! Ouch! Look out with that fork!
Where's the money now?
Oh, I don't know. We've got a lot of commercial holdings, mills, import, export outfits, rocket lines, you know.
Mere trivia.
Hey, why don't we get out of this dump? We could go up to the Copley Plaza. It may be stuffy, but at least the glasses are clean.
You're the condemned man.
All right, you guys go ahead and get a taxicopter. I'll settle.
Meet you out in front.
Right. Excuse me.
You want something, Bud?
The check.
Okay. Hey, Milton, check. He'll be right out.
Right.
Hello, mate.
Huh?
Nice night, eh?
I suppose so.
I've been watching you. Celebrating?
Sort of.
Oh, so am I. Just got off a deep space run out to Centaurus.
Centaurus? That's a 15-year run, isn't it?
15 and 3 blooming months. How'd you know? You a spaceman?
No, not exactly. Hey, barkeep, where's that check?
Hang on to your hat, Bud. Milton is slow, but he's sure.
Fill it up, Charlie. Say, why don't you join me, mate? Here, Charlie.
No, thank you, no.
Oh, come on, won't take off on Mo. Celebrate whatever it is you're celebrating on me. Come on, pour it, Charlie.
Yeah, sure.
Well, I guess I might as well. Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers. Was that varnish?
Charlie's special brand, eh, Charlie?
Yes.
Hey, look, could you get that waiter out here? I've got to meet my friends. They're waiting
what's
outside.
your hurry, mate? You got plenty of time.
Sure. Sit down.
Take it easy. You don't look so good.
I don't feel so good.
Well, here now, you sit right here. You'll feel chipper as a blooming grasshopper in a second.
Gotta get outside. In a hurry. Where's the check? Check! Oh! All right, come
Get him out the back before his mates turn up.
Grab his other leg. Let's go.
You know, easy. That's what he thinks. Where he's going, he's got plenty of time. All right, mate. Up on your feet. Wakey. Let go of me. That's the idea. Rise and shine and greet the dawn. Where am I? What's going on here? Come on now, mate. Up and at him. Wakey. Come on, show a leg. Wait a minute. Hey. You were at that bar. Scully Square. Come on now, up to the power room or you'll be in trouble. Power room? What are you talking about? Where am I? Well, that's hard to say exactly. Offhand, about 8 hours out of Atlantic Spaceport. Atlantic Spaceport? What kind of a joke is this? If Alan and Peter think this is funny, they... What ship is this? R.S. Michael M. Rafferty. Coffin Line. Coffin Line. Well, that makes it easy. You've got to put back to port. Forget your toothbrush, mate. Listen, you runt, take me to the captain or I'll tear you apart. Here, let go of my lapel. Get moving. Sure, mate, I'll take you up to the captain. Captain Lundstrom is just the man you want to see. Martin. What the devil are you doing on the bridge? Get below. Right away. Only this here gentleman asked to say...
Now, that's right, Captain. There's been a mistake made. I'm afraid it was supposed to be a joke.
Oh?
Yes, you see, I'm going to be married today, and I suppose my friends thought it would be funny to make me miss the ceremony. I'm sure it won't be too much trouble to have you drop me off back at Atlantic.
What? Martin, what is this?
Oh, it's simple, Captain. He wants you to turn the ship around, that's all.
If there's any trouble with your superior, I'm sure I can fix it up. You see, I'm Jeff Coffin.
Yes?
Well, you don't understand. My father is Cyrus Coffin. He owns this ship.
He does, eh?
I can understand you're not believing me, Captain, but I can identify my... Hey, where's my wallet?
My.
Look, Captain, all you have to do is radio back and check.
Mr. Black, remove this man from the bridge.
Aye, sir. You heard the captain, Buster.
Wait a minute. Let go of me. This is no way to treat a passenger.
Passenger? Wake up, sonny boy. You're one of the crew.
What? Well, you're crazy. I'm Jeff Coffin.
Maybe, but you're signed on as a crewman. Now stand at attention.
You can't get away with this.
And say, sir.
Why, you cheap hoodlum.
Now listen careful, sonny. You're a spaceman on this ship. And when an officer gives you an order, you're going to jump.
Now, how do you all bust it? Let go of my arms.
I guess you need a little lesson in ship's discipline. And you might as well get it now.
All right, Mr. Black. Now take him below.
All right now, mate. You grab yourself a buffer and you get to work on those deck plates.
I can't get away with this. It's kidnapping.
Maybe yes, maybe no. Now get this here deck nice and shiny. We might even see about some grub. I'll be back in 2 hours. And mind you, I want to be able to see my bloomin' reflection in it.
Hey, you'd better get started.
I can't get away with this.
The law says once you sign on, you're under absolute orders. I looked it up.
But I didn't sign on. I was kidnapped.
You won't be able to prove it. Come on, mister, please. I didn't get anything to eat today. Give me a break.
All right. You run the buffer over it, is that it?
Yeah, that's right. Like this.
Yeah, okay. You sign on?
Yeah. I ran away from home.
What? How old are you?
16. I'll be 30 when we get back.
What do you mean, 30? We're headed for Mars, aren't we?
Only to refuel. We're bound out to Centaurus.
But no. We can't, but that's 15 years... Martin! I've got to get back.
No, you.
Getting married, you'll think I'm dead. Martin!
Now what's up? You want me to call Mr. Black again? He'll give you what for.
No, listen. Now, listen, I've got to get back. I can't disappear for 15 years.
How is that a fact?
Look, We stop at Mars, right?
Yes, and you'll be below decks under lock and key.
Listen, I can make it worth your while if you get me off at Marsport.
Jumping ship? Why, that's real naughty, mate.
$1,000.
Why, what would I tell me poor old mother in Battersea?
$2,000?
$5. In advance.
What do you mean in advance? I'll bet you're the one that rolled me for my wallet.
There's a way. They don't believe you're young, Coffin. Maybe I know better. All right? It's a deal?
All right.
Look, Mr. Coffin, can you take me with you? I didn't realize what it would be like. I'll pay my share. I could work it for you, or maybe borrow money. I couldn't stand 15 years. I'd go crazy.
He'll cost you another 1,000.
You cheap swindler.
Here now, Mr. Coffin. I'm all what stands between you and a lovely pleasure cruise for 15 years. So I'll thank you to treat me with the respect and politeness what a gentleman like myself deserves.
Stand by for landing procedure.
All right now, listen careful. This here's the cable locker for the grappling anchor. When she lands, this hatch will open and the cables go out. Don't get yourself caught in the middle. Be torn apart.
All right, we got that.
Are you sure we can get out?
You just do what I say. When you drop down, run for the blast pit. Nobody's there for a landing. Lay low until dark. You got that?
All right. Don't worry. I'll tell the patrol you help us get away. That'll help you when they catch up with this gang.
Well, thank you, sir. Thank you kindly. I've got to get to the station now. Good luck.
Thanks, Mr. Morton.
There's the landing horn.
Yeah.
Keep clear of that cable, Joey. Here comes the deceleration blast.
There goes the grappling cable.
All right, come on. Drop to the hatch. It's about 6 feet. It's clear. Hurry up.
What? Here I go.
You all right?
Twisted my ankle. It's all right.
There's the blast pit. Come on, get going.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're all right so far. The ship hides.
Here's the pit.
Get down so they can't see you.
I don't know how to thank you, Mr. Coffin. I must have been crazy to sign on that ship.
That's all right, Joey. What happened? Have a fight at home?
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Huh?
I hear somebody coming.
What?
Keep still.
Maybe we better look.
If we stick our heads over the edge, they'll see us sure. Keep down and keep quiet.
I hear him, too.
Well, look what we have here. 2 little babes in the wood. You two move and I'll shoot you each once in the belly. Morton, you got good eyes.
I told you I saw him come this way, Mr. Black. Jumping ship! Why, that's a terrible thing to do.
You double-crossing rat. You got paid in advance, didn't you? Then turned us in. I'll see the port police about this.
Yeah? We already turned your papers over to the port police as ship jumpers.
Papers? I didn't sign any papers.
You just don't remember signing them. We got them stamped nice and legal.
It's no use, Mr. Coffin. We haven't got a chance.
My, jumping ship. Well, don't worry, mate. You'll see your girl again in 15 years.
Mr. Black, inform the ship's company that these 2 men have been found guilty of attempted desertion.
Desertion? Well, you kidnapped me, you dirty crook.
Don't you talk to Captain Lundstrom that way. I'm sentencing them to 24 hours hull watch. Take them away.
Morton, take him to the aft lock.
Aye, sir.
Ship jumping. If you didn't have that gun, I'd break you in 2. Double-crossing rat.
You calm down after 24 hours hull watch.
What's hull watch?
Very simple. We put you 2 in spacesuits and shove you through the airlock on the end of a line. You sit out there and you watch the hull for 24 hours. You can talk to each other on the wireless intercom, but no food and no water. And the heating units in those suits are just a little bit defective. Makes it interesting along about the 18th hour.
I'll bet.
Well, here we are, gentlemen. The airlock. Now, you get in here. You've got 5 minutes to get into suits and we blow you out of the lock. See you in 24 hours. Maybe.
Joey, can you hear me all right?
Yeah. It's getting awful cold. How much longer we got?
I don't know. I suppose that's part of the fun. Guessing.
I'm awful thirsty.
It can't be too much more. Hang on, kid.
It's cold.
It'll probably get colder. We'd better snap the safety hook.
Jeff, what would happen if we drifted away from the ship?
We'd keep going in the same direction till the oxygen gave out.
Yeah. Will it get much colder? I don't know if I can take it.
We haven't got any choice, Joey. Just hang on. It can't last forever.
Welcome back to our little home.
Water.
Thirsty?
Get water.
Right here. Here. Slopping like a bloody animal.
Joey, passed out.
You'll be all right.
Help him.
Teach your lesson, both of you. Just take my advice and behave yourselves. You've got 15 years to go on this here ship, and you might as well make the best of it. Hey, Martin, what do you call this mess? That's your supper, mate. Food concentrate.
What's the idea? Only 2 months out and on concentrates already?
You complaining, Reed?
Yeah, I'm complaining. If Captain Lundstrom's chiseling on the manifest, that's his business. But when he tries to take it out of our hide...
You keep quiet or I'll turn you into Mr. Black. Concentrate is what you get to eat from here on out. Now shove it in your face and keep quiet.
I'll shove it in your face and see how you like it.
Look out. What's going on in here? Morton? What happened?
He struck me, that's what.
48 hours hull watch.
Huh?
What are you all looking at? Get back to your places. Morton, bring that man to the aft airlock.
All right, Red. Come on out of there. Your time's up. Come on. You, mate. Go in and get him.
Come on, Joey.
Gee, 48 hours out there.
Unsnap the helmet. Careful. Get it off.
Come on now, hurry up. Bring him to.
I can't.
What?
He's dead.
Get him undressed. Hang up that spacesuit. He must have had a heart attack.
Heart attack. He's frozen to death.
Mr. Black will be fair heartbroken. Red was a first-class jet man. Hurry up with that suit. It's cold in here.
It's murder, that's what. Just plain murder.
Space Code gives a 30-hour limit for punishment.
They didn't even have a burial. Just shoved him out of the lock.
Well, if the owners knew about this, they'd stop it.
Oh, fat load of good that's going to do us for the next 15 years.
Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute. If we could get the ship back tomorrow...
Oh, look, that's no good, son. 2 weeks after we landed, we'd be hung. That's what Space Code says about mutiny. If they catch you in the act, they shoot you down and no question.
Well, I'm willing to take the chance. Are we going to let Black and Lundstrom kick us around for 15 years? Why don't we take over and head back?
Okay.
Quiet.
Did I interrupt something, gentlemen? A discussion? Talking about the captain, maybe? Well, grab him. Let go of me. I'll have you all out of the island shifts. I'll see you in operations. That's what I'll do.
Here, chew on my oil rag, Morton.
Well, that's done it, Harry. He's an officer.
Who cares?
Look, we've got to move now. Joey, get up to the radio room and smash the set before they can get a message out.
Right.
Pop, you get out and tell the engine watch.
All right.
The rest of us will go up to the bridge.
How about this, Rat?
Tie him up. Speed counts now. We've got to take over before they know what hit him. Careful. We've got to surprise him.
We'll get him cold.
Jack, quiet. Sparks was sending when I got in, but I knocked him out and smashed the set. We're all right.
All right, come on. Let's get up to the bridge.
Close the hatch.
We're cut off from the bridge.
We'll never get through that.
He must have found out somehow.
Folks will intercom. Black must have turned it on from the bridge. He must have heard the whole thing.
Yeah. We better get out of here.
Yeah. What'll they do?
I don't know.
They got all the controls up there. We can shut down the drive, but we can't steer.
Better dog down the hatch behind us.
Well, what next?
All right, men. Captain Lundstrom's giving you 1 minute to give up quiet.
In a pig's eye, Black.
You'll hang for mutiny, every one of you.
What do we do now?
Quiet. They can hear everything on the intercom.
Not if I cut the switch.
Got to get through to the bridge.
Well, it's a Mexican standoff. We can't get at them, they can't get at us.
What's that?
Air leak. The pressure's down. Fellas.
What is that?
Lundstrom, he blew the hatch in the mess hall section, just opened it up and let the air out.
Oh, anybody caught?
Al Haynes, he was cooking supper, dead as a doornail. But they can kill us all. They'll do it, too. All they've got to do is bleed off the air. They've got the atmosphere controls up there.
I'll see all of you blokes swinging from a landing crane. I will, you scum.
Morton, you know what Black's going to do? Bleed off the air down here.
Oh, serve you all right. If I had my way, I'd see you all out in the yard till you froze stiff.
You're forgetting something, Morton. You're back here with us.
What do you mean?
If Black and Lundstrom blow out compartments one by one or bleed the air off, you'll get it, too.
They'll take care of me, don't you worry about that.
You think so? Joey, plug that intercom back in.
Yeah.
Black!
Hurry up.
We've got Morton back here.
Yeah?
If you try anything on us, he'll get it, too.
What am I supposed to do? Try?
You don't care if he dies?
Well, that's his problem. We're going to drop the oxygen level 5%.
But you can't do that to me. Captain!
It's unfortunate that you were captured, Morton. But the security of my ship comes first.
You mean you don't care? You'd see me dead?
Precisely.
Well, you can't. It's murder, that's what. I'm not one of them. You can't kill me. You can't.
Joey, pull the intercom
You can't do it. I always followed orders. I did the dirty work and pulled
He can't hear you anymore,
Morton.
Morton.
Do this.
Shut up. Morton, they kill you as soon as look at you. Now listen. We've got to get through to the bridge. You know this ship. There must be some way.
We're your only chance, Morton. Get us through that hatch and up to the bridge.
All right. All right, why shouldn't I? They'd kill me.
And there is a way to get through?
Emergency release. Works by hand. I don't tell crewmen about it to keep them from breaking through in an engine blast and leaking radiation to the bridge.
Let's get going. We've got to get through before Lundstrom cuts the air down and gets us all. Here's Here's the hatch, Morton. Where's the release?
Under the floor panel. You can pry it up.
Harry?
I got it. She's up.
Works on the key. Ready?
Back against the walls. They've got the guns.
Let them have it. I want to wrap my wrench around Black's neck.
All right, Morton. Open it up.
Here goes.
Look out! They had it fired. Martin!
He's dead.
Electrocuted. And the hatch is still closed.
If he didn't get to turn that key, it killed him instantly. Harry, we got your watch gloves. They're insulated.
Oh, sure. They'll take any gloves. Let's get Morton out of the way.
Hey, don't touch him, Joey. He's got the current through.
Yeah, I'll pull him away with the glove. All right, now stand by. Here goes the key.
Let's go! Get away! Hey, back there! Like this. Drop the gun. Johnny, look out! Oh, let go of the gun, Lundstrom. Hold them both.
You don't have to worry about Black. I got him square with a wrench.
Anybody else hurt?
I am. In the side. I think it just grazed me.
We'd better tie Lundstrom up.
What do you think you are going to do now?
Turn around and go back home.
I don't think so. I have burned the navigation tapes. And none of you can recalculate.
What?
You'll just wander in space till the fuel gives out. You'll die right here on the ship.
How you coming, Jeff?
It's no use. I've had a little space math, but not enough to compute a flight.
Sooner or later, you're going to beg me to let you surrender.
Jeff, the interceptor screens went on.
Meteor?
No, it's a ship. A patrol ship coming up on us.
They must have got off an SOS.
No, we don't have to worry. We can just tell them the truth.
Sure.
You are not familiar with the space code, young man. Mutiny is punished by immediate execution on the ship itself. In other words, they don't ask questions, they shoot.
He's right, Jeff. We're through.
Can we get away?
Not from a patrol ship. They've already sent us a heave-to flash. If we run, they'll blow us out of space.
I'm afraid your mutiny is over, gentlemen. Soon they'll be alongside with an airlock coupling. And 10 minutes after that, you will all be dead.
Nobody move. Sergeant, take a squad and secure the ship, collect all weapons, and post a guard in the engine room.
Yes, sir. You, Brown, Williams, Kentucky, Kelly.
I'm delighted to see you, Major. I was not sure that an SOS had gotten through.
Oh? You're Captain Lundstrom?
That's right. I can swear out the affidavit of mutiny as...
I don't think a mutiny charge will stand up, Lundstrom. Not with the relief of command warrant out for you. I think we'll just forget about it. You're under arrest, Captain.
Oh, you can't do that. Space code is clear. You recorded my SOS.
SOS?
Of course. How else did you get here?
They sent us after you to get Jeff Coffin. Where is he?
I'm Jeff Coffin.
We had a missing persons alarm for you, and then when a check you signed turned up at Marsport...
A check? That's right. I gave one to Morton to help me get away.
And he sold it to a fence for half face value. We traced it back to this ship. Coffin, I've got orders to escort you personally. We're taking you back to Earth, son.
Major, can I send out a message?
Of course. Oh, that reminds me, I've got one for you. From your fiancée.
Oh?
She said to tell you that she didn't object to a bachelor party in principle, but she did think 6 months was stretching it a bit.
Competition, they say, is the life of trade. And it will be as true 2 centuries from now as it is today. You'll hear about it next week when we present...
Dimension X.
Today, Dimension X has transcribed Shanghied, an original story by Ernest Kenoy. Featured in the cast were John Sylvester as Jeff and William Griffiths as Morton. Your host was Norman Rose. Music by Bert Berman. Engineer Bill Chambers. Dimension X is produced by William Welch and directed by Edward King.
Three chimes mean good times on NBC. Tonight, it's The Big Show on NBC. Your stars will be Groucho Marx, Ezio Pinza, Jane Powell, Fanny Bryce, Frank Lovejoy, Meredith Wilson, and many, many more. Supervising the hour-and-a-half Big Show will be MC Tallulah Bankhead. Incidentally, when unpredictable Tallulah meets unconventional Groucho, look out. It's The Big Show every Sunday on NBC. Now the Quiz Kids, and later hear Tallulah and The Big Show on NBC.
Can you predict what will come in 100 years? Can you see beyond the known dimensions of time and space into the unknown, Dimension X? The ridge stars spread 200 light years across space. To the passengers on the immigration spaceship from Earth, they appear to be pinpoints of light in the darkness. The men, women, and children slept in their bunks in the tiered dormitories, or sat reading the immigration folders that described the worlds of the ridge stars in glowing, rosy terms. Anne Travis stood before the vision port and searched for the spot of light which would be her new home.
You can't tell which is which, can you? Well, I asked the steward for mine. There it is, you see? That nice, bright little star up in the left-hand corner. That one? Yes. Alka 3. I'm going to meet my son there. He sent for me. Harry always was a good son. I used to say to my husband just before he died, Harry is a good son. I'm going to Dora 3. My sister's there. Oh, isn't that nice? It's a wonderful thing for a young girl like you to start life way out here. I used to tell Harry's father that if he had any spunk, he'd be out on the ridge stars making a fortune. He was assistant buyer at Bloomingdale's kitchenware. I see. Maybe if I asked the purser, he could point out Dora 3. Oh, well, you go ahead, dear. You've paid your fare like everybody else. What did you say your name was? Anne Travis. Well, I'm Lottie Elders, Mrs. Harold E. Elders. Though, of course, I don't use Harold's name now. Are you all alone? Yes, my folks died last year. That's why I'm coming out to live with my sister. Oh, why, you poor child, traveling halfway across space with nobody to talk to.
Attention.
There it is. I just know it.
You are now within the ridge star quadrant. The trip is almost over. Captain Franklin wishes me to inform you that a vote will shortly be taken to determine on which planet of which sun every passenger of this ship will be landing.
What is he talking
The
about?
majority will decide, and all must abide by the decision.
I don't understand. What did he say about a vote? I don't believe it. He said everybody had to go to the same planet, didn't he? But Harry's on Alka 3. Look here, Mrs. Elders, they can't get away with this. They can't just set us down anywhere. I've got to meet my sister, but what can we do? I don't know, but I'm going to find out. I'm going to see the captain right now.
Landing manifest 12436. Cargo holds 1 through 12 at premium rate, including...
I want to see the captain.
Well, look, I'm busy now.
What kind of an outrage is this? I'm going to join my sister on Dora 3. That's where I bought my ticket for, and that's where I'm going. Vote or no vote?
That's what you think, baby. I'll call you back, Jerry.
I want to see the captain immediately. Do you hear?
Yeah, sure, I hear. Perfect, in both ears.
What's the meaning of this? What are you people trying to get away with?
We're not trying, sister. You're in space now, kid. We don't go by Earthside red tape.
But my ticket...
Oh, you can paste that in the scrapbook. That's all it's worth. Where you're going, kid, fortunes are made and lost every day. The rich stars are wide open, and what the big operators say goes.
But my sister's waiting for me.
Oh, she'll get tired. It's a game, kid, and you're in.
The folder said you were encouraging immigration.
Oh, sure.
But all the improvements in Earthside working conditions in the past 50 years were to prevent wholesale immigration to the rich. That's why we have to cut the price of the tickets below cost to suck you immigrants out here.
Why did you lie? Why won't you take us where we want to go?
It's simple, kid. The only way to make a profit is to dump each shipload in one place. This cargo goes to Delphi, too.
But the announcer said there was going to be a vote.
Oh, sure. But we've got it rigged so Delphi, too, gets it. Simple, isn't it?
But you can't.
Oh, it's not so bad, Delphi. It's okay. We'll follow me. Great world. Especially for a kid like you.
But how would I get to my sister? She's expecting me on Doridor 3. Can I take another ship?
Not where you're going.
What do you mean?
Look, baby. Space travel is an Earthside monopoly. They own the patents on the rocket power that makes space travel possible. Now, the rich government offered a prize for a new kind of power that wouldn't infringe on Earth rocket patents. But until that drive is developed, you just won't get off. You'll find it.
You can't travel to another planet?
That's right. There isn't any public transport, and only a millionaire could afford a private jet.
You mean I'm just stuck?
Mm-hmm. Like a fly on fly paper. Hey, where you going?
Back to my bunk. I want to lie down.
Wait a minute. I'm afraid you can't leave here till that boat is taken.
Why not?
Well, I'm a kindly type, friendly fellow. I always give a straight story to anybody, but that means I've got to keep them under wraps. So, you'll stay right here till we land on Delphi 2.
Inspector under the first letter of their last name. Anne, where have you been, child? I looked all over for you. They kept me in the prison setting. Mrs. Elders, what shall we do? I'm sure I don't know. Harry, he's my son, you know. He'll be just frank. I know.
Attention. Any immigrants not cleared or in proper line in 10 minutes will be indefinitely detained.
Oh, dear, I haven't been cleared yet. Oh, you'd better go then. I'll wait for you right here. Oh, be sure you do, dear. I'm so frightened. Oh, which way do I go? Oh, the east line is over there, see? Oh, I don't have my distance glasses. You will wait for me, dear? Yes, right here. Go along now.
All right, you. Come on.
Who are you?
Never mind. Come on. Grab her, Al. Come on.
Let go of me. What's the idea? Let go.
Get her.
Who are you? Let go. Let go.
We can't take any chances, Al. Put her out. Right.
Come on, up.
What happened?
Come on, sit up.
What? Who are you? Your face.
That's a motor-driven face dissolver mask.
I've read about them. I've never seen one. Who are you?
That's why I'm wearing a mask, because I don't want you to know.
But they're not.
Look, lady, quit babbling. I hauled you in because you're pretty and intelligent-looking.
But why?
You're going to make 1,000 stellars for yourself, whether you like it or not. Now stop looking like a scared rabbit.
You can't do this. I'll call the police.
The police? What do you know about the Red Star government?
Nothing.
Obviously. Well, out here things are different. Now listen. You go to the New Sol Hotel. As soon as you're registered, you go to the Fair Play Employment Agency. They'll take care of you. Now take this. It's a tape reel. Play it back in your room. It'll tell you what to do. After it's played once, it'll destroy itself. Is that clear?
I don't understand this at all.
Have you ever heard of the 7-day poison?
I don't think so.
Well, it's an interesting device. It feeds on the blood. On the 7th day, undergoes a chemical change and... very easy to use. You just inject it like this.
Oh.
Yeah, it's all over. For 7 days. The beauty of this poison is it can be made to look like a lock pattern in many thousands of small variations. But the only antidote must be some of the original poison at its base. And I have that. Don't get hysterical. I'll keep the antidote here.
You can get it after you've done what I want.
But I don't know where I am. I don't know who you are. What if something happens to you?
That's your problem. But remember, the police can't help you. I have the antidote to the poison. All right, I'm through with her. Take her out and drop her at the hotel.
Yes?
And Travis?
Yes? Who's this?
Play that tape reel and get started. We'll be watching you.
Hello? Hello?
Hotel News All Desk. Can I help you?
I was cut off. Someone was speaking to me.
I'm sorry, there was no incoming call on your line. Can I help you?
No, never mind. Better play that tape. Guess you push this button.
You will find in your purse a full cigarette case. Half of the cigarettes are doped. Tomorrow, you will be hired as private secretary to Arthur Blord. When you're alone with him, you will give him one of the cigarettes. The case he checks two at a time. The outer one is doped. When he's unconscious, push the brown knob on the case. That will call my men, and they will come for you. You must come with them if you wish the antidote to the poison. After that, you'll be transported to any rich star you wish. As soon as you've played this reel, go to the Fair Play Employment Agency. There's no time to waste. Tomorrow, the 7-day poison will have only 6 days to go. Now that the reel is finished, it will destroy itself.
Why do they have to pick me? Oh, the reel. Come on, Travis. You've got 7 days.
Come in, Miss Travis. Well, everything seems in order. I must verify one thing.
Yes, Mr. Markerson?
You did arrive just yesterday on that immigrant ship from Earth.
Oh, yes, sir.
And this is your first job, not only on Delphi, but on any planet other than Earth.
Yes, sir, that's right.
We'll check that, of course. In the meantime, we can go up to see Mr. Blord. You'll be his private secretary. This way, please.
Did you say...
Did I say what?
Never mind. Nothing.
Have you heard of Arthur Blord before?
Not exactly.
You would if you'd been in the registars longer. Amazing man. Amazing. We'll wait here for the elevator.
He must be very important.
Important? There are names out here that they've never heard of back on Earth, and the greatest name is Arthur Blord.
Really?
In less than 10 years, he's made himself an astronomical fortune. Astronomical. Here we are. After you. Penthouse.
What's he like?
You'll see. Very dynamic. Sharp. He outsmarts the big shots, the planetary operators. They exploit whole worlds. He exploits them. They hate him, the Ridge Star operators. Well, here we are. Come along, Miss Travis. Mr. Blord is waiting for you. Mr. Blord, this is Ann Travis, her record and references.
Not interested. You check them. Margerson, get out.
Yes, Mr. Blord.
Ready, Miss Travis?
Yes, Mr. Blord.
Take this dictation. Chromium field on Transom 4, value 100 billion stellars. Just plain slogging. Let somebody else do it. Tragona 7. Forest, all treasure wood, priceless. Dennis Carey, operator, hard, cruel, brilliant. Should be interesting. new to Delphi, too, aren't you?
Yes, Mr. Blord.
I like new cities, new planets. They're soulless. They have no culture, no institutions with hardening of the arteries.
Yes, sir.
Now, I came out here as a wiper in an Earthside liner and jumped ship at Transion 4. That was 10 years ago. You couldn't do that on an old world. Earthside, they developed the science. Out here, we use it. The great developments today aren't in science. You don't believe that, do you?
I'm not sure, sir. Will there be any more dictation, Mr. Blord?
Nope, that's all. Don't leave yet. Mind if I smoke?
No.
Like a cigarette?
Sir?
I asked if you'd like a cigarette.
Oh, thank you, but I have my own.
Oh? Earth cigarettes? Would you mind letting me have one? They're very rare out here.
Of course.
That's an interesting case. Eject two at a time, huh?
Here, Mr. Blord, take one.
Yes, thank you. Haven't smoked one of these in years. Light, Miss Travis?
Thank you.
Drop the lighter under the desk. I'll get it. Sit back in your chair. Should be down here. Miss Travis. Miss Travis. Hello, Dr. Gregg. Lord. I've got a girl here I want you to examine. No, she's out cold. Nope. Had her sitting in that wired chair, and I just threw the switch. There's something phony about her from the beginning. The pickup needle from her chair was jumping like a kangaroo, and when I mentioned cigarettes, it practically blew a fuse. That's what I want to find out. Why she should be carrying dope cigarettes. I want her examined. The full hypnotism treatment is necessary. I want to find out who sent her. I want to know who's gunning for me.
There you are, Blord. That's the best I can do, short of a full-length narco-analysis.
You sure about that 7-day poison?
Absolutely. She's got less than 6 days.
And she was right off the immigrant ship. This is the first time I've had a plant. Somebody found out I hire them fresh from Earth.
I've got her memory track on that face dissolver mask. It was Delaney.
I thought so. But he isn't working alone. It's that gang working for the prize on the new space drive. I got into the competition 2 weeks ago, and I guess they're afraid of losing the money they've put into research.
What about this kid? She's got 6 days to live, and I wouldn't take any bets that they try to save her if she doesn't deliver the goods.
They wouldn't even save her if she did. Delaney wouldn't want witnesses. Doc, set everything up the way it was before she went under.
What are you going to do?
I'm going to let them take me.
Wait a minute. They're liable.
I know what they're liable to do, Doc. You take care of the girl and leave the rest to me.
Okay. It's your funeral.
Maybe. Now, let's revive Miss Travis. You set up the projectors. Come on, hop to it.
Set now. When you reverse the field, she'll come to, and she won't even know anything happened. You remember exactly what you were doing when you knocked her out?
Sure. I was looking for the lighter under the table for that doped cigarette of hers.
Well, I'll be going. Good luck, Artur. You'll need it.
I'll be seeing you, Doc. All right, Miss Travis. Now let's take up where we left off.
Oh, I felt faint for a minute. Did you find the lighter, Mr. Blord?
Oh, yes. Thank you. I haven't had a good drag on an Earth cigarette in years. It's... stronger than
I've got to call those men now. Let's see the brown knob on the case. I didn't want to hurt him, but what can I do? What can I
How's Blord?
like a light. This dame sure fixed him.
Where are we going?
What do you care?
Tell her. In 6 days, it won't matter.
The boss give orders.
What's the difference? These two are dead ducks.
What do you mean?
You think the boss will give you that antidote?
He promised.
Al, he promised.
Did he really?
But did he give his scouts honor?
You know, spit twice and cross his heart.
Stop it. What will happen to him?
Lord? Well, you got me. Last 3 guys I brought over here ended up in the disposal unit.
You mean they'll kill him?
Wouldn't be surprised.
Oh, no, they couldn't.
They don't play for marbles out here in the rich stars.
But the police.
It's just like Earthside, sister. Police take their cut and arrest a couple of bindle stiffs every night to make it look good.
Lord was playing around with some pretty big men. He knew what he was getting into.
I didn't think they'd kill him. I don't know anything about the Ridge Stars.
Oh, that's tough, lady. Real tough.
There's the beam. We're hit.
All right, fasten your straps. I'm taking her down.
Where are we going?
You're on Delphi 1.
What is this place?
A private estate. Very private. How you coming with Lord, Al?
He's heavy.
All right. We stop here. I got to spring the voice lock. Combination. 1, 3, alibi, Peter, uranium.
Repeat.
These things never work. 1, 3, alibi, Peter, uranium. All right, drag him in now. Where do you want him, boss?
Clamp him in the chair. Give me a hand, will you?
Yeah. All right. Get his feet straight. Now throw the clamps.
Inject the key stimulant.
Right, boss. Tear off his sleeve, Al. All set, boss.
Do we have to keep on the masks? I got a cold.
No, I think we can do without them. Shut off the power. There we are.
He's coming to. Delaney. What am I doing here?
I think we can get down to business, Lord. We represent 90 companies. We've entered the Ridge government contest to develop a space drive that won't infringe on Earthside patents.
Oh? Well, Delaney, I've got news for you. Unless one of you has a power drive that's 25% faster than an Earthside rocket, you're licked. What do you mean?
You must know, Delaney, you said... Quiet. Can't you see he's trying to get us arguing?
When I heard some of the low speed you boys were using...
Shut up.
All right. You have the floor, Delaney.
2 weeks ago, you entered the contest. We know your reputation. You can't afford a failure.
Your whole financial structure is a bluff.
We know you have the drive. Lord, you better save time. Tell us now, what does your space drive run on?
Twisted rubber band.
You'll force us to extremes, Lord. All right, take that girl out of here.
No, let go of me. You can't kill him. I didn't know you tricked me into getting in
Get her out.
Come on, sister.
Let's go.
Oh, all right. So you want to play rough?
Okay, that's 23 you owe me. Your deal. Cut. I trust your deal.
Well, she's coming too, huh?
That's nice. Deal from the top.
Did they kill him?
Who knows? You want the top card?
No, neither do I.
Where is he?
In there.
They'll let him go, won't they? They've got to. I didn't realize they'd kill him.
Well, thank you. Just the card I wanted.
A pleasure, I'm sure.
Look, you've got to tell me. Are they going to kill Mr. Bloor?
Look, lady. A, you are interrupting a very important card game. B, you're better off if they do kill Bloor.
Let's face it, kiddo. You crimped him good.
Crimped him?
You think he's going to like you for doping him and getting him into this mess? Bloor's a tough guy. When he first come out to the ridge, he killed 3 men in a mining camp over on Tranchu when they double-crossed him.
Sure, if he ever gets out of this, I wouldn't bet a lead slug on your life.
I'll go with 10.
Please.
Tough luck, Sonny. I got 3. And double for spades. Yep, if Blord gets loose, I wouldn't want to be in your place.
But I didn't understand. They tricked me.
I don't think Blord will sympathize. Deal the cards, will you? Hold it.
Blord, you're a crawling rat.
I'm a realist, Elaine.
He's alive.
You got me. So I'll make a deal. Now, look. We form a joint stock company. Each of you signs over his patent rights to the new firm, and we split the shares.
You hear that?
You get my space drive. I get 25%. Delaney runs the new company. The whole deal to be publicized if you wish.
Lord, when this gets out, it'll ruin you. They'll despise you when they find out how much dirt you've eaten.
Well, I didn't have much choice, did I? All right. Now the other part of the deal. You got me here through a certain young lady.
Now, we can dispose of her.
No, I think I'd like to do that. I'll take her as part of my 25%. Any objections, Delaney?
No, just be careful. Get rid of her clean. We don't want any mess left around for the Ridge government to find.
What are you going to do with me? You promised
Did I? Get rid of her, Blord. Only make her clean.
You can loosen your strap now. We're on automatic.
Where are we going?
Back to Delphi 2.
I didn't understand what they were going to do.
I know.
I didn't realize.
I'm sure you didn't. Miss Travis.
What are you going to do?
I'm going to pay you off.
Let go of my arm. Let go. Let go of me!
Shut up. What are you screaming about? Now hold still. It won't take a second. Just one small injection.
No, don't. Let me go, please.
Stop it, thing. There. Scratched my face like a cat.
Will it take long?
What?
For me to die.
For you to...
Stop it, please. Please, stop it.
But it's funny. It's very funny. That was the antidote.
The antidote?
The 7-day poison Delaney gave you. I got it from him before we left. Young lady, I knocked you out in my office and had your mind examined. I knew just what you had done. I came here because I wanted to.
Oh. You're not angry with me?
Certainly not. Besides, everything turned out my way.
Your way? But they forced you to give them the drive. You signed away the right.
I'm a percentage man. Let them do the operating. Besides, it was their drive in the first place.
Their drive?
Yes, it's simple. I knew that after the contest there'd be a merger of research, so I merged it before instead. Wait till they discover they signed away their own patent rights. I don't think they'll feel like laughing then.
But to give Delaney control of the new company.
But don't you see, I had to get him to go along. He had the antidote to your poison.
What about me now?
Look at the vision port. Now turn up the scale.
Oh.
That's the ridge. You can have your pick. Name your world, and I'll take you there. You said your sister was on Doridora 3.
Yes, but...
But what?
I wonder if the opportunities for advancement are greater on your planet, Mr. Blower.
You know, Miss Travis, I wouldn't be a bit surprised if they were.
How would you like to live in a world no larger than a single gigantic rocket ship? You'll find out more about it next week on...
Dimension.
Today, Dimension X has transcribed Competition, adapted for radio by Ernest Kenoy from a story by E.M. Hull. Featured in the cast were Elaine Rost as Anne and Les Tremaine as Arthur Blord. Your host was Norman Rose. Music by Burt Berman, engineer Bill Chambers. Dimension X is produced by William Welch and directed by Edward King.
Just 75 miles from Euclidia, one of the rocket planes of the Euclidean scientists is down in the water. This should not prove very serious under ordinary conditions, but something went wrong with the plane. The instruments have failed. And now, even the gas-filled bulkheads which were designed to keep the strange craft afloat have proven worthless. Captain Bradford, Jerry Hall, Cheops, and Thales are helpless in the water as their craft is slowly sinking. On board a Euclidean submarine racing to their aid on the surface of the water are Joan Gregory and the Euclidean girl commander. They are within a few miles of Jerry, the captain, and the two Euclideans who were with them, but it seems as if even this short distance may be too great. The captain and Jerry have a mighty serious problem on their hands.
I think this portion of the plane will float for a few minutes at least.
It better float. We're a long swim from anywhere.
The chances are that this section will stay where it is for some time, and there's no use pulling it underwater until we have to. Now, look, let's all let loose and float in the water where we can reach out and grab that thing if we need it.
Okay, Tex. I'm floating now.
Hello over there on the other side. Cheops, Thales.
Yes, Captain Bradford.
We are here.
Are you hanging on to the ship?
We are.
Better let go and give the wreck a chance to stay afloat as long as it will. We might need to climb up on it.
Yeah. We might find a couple of hungry sharks around here.
I am sorry, Captain. It will be impossible for me to release my hold on the wreckage.
Why is that impossible?
I cannot swim.
What? You can't swim?
I cannot swim.
I am in the same predicament. I cannot swim.
Oh, gee, this is swell, Jerry.
Yeah. Just dandy. Here we are floating around in the Pacific Ocean with a sinking ship and two fellows who can't swim.
And we're all right as long as this wreck stays above water, but those air tanks were all cracked up when we hit, and seems they'll be opening up any minute.
And when that happens, you and I'll have to try to swim and keep those two above water at the same time.
Right, that's about the size of it, Jerry. You just take care of yourself. I can handle them. They don't lose their heads.
Oh, no, you don't. I can swim as long as you can. We'll take one of those fellows and we'll keep them afloat if we have to put them to sleep.
Right. You men work your way around to our side of this thing.
Very well, Captain. Yes. Coming.
How soon do you think that submarine can get to us, Tex?
No way of telling, Jerry. I don't know what speed it's making or exactly how far we are from the position of Euclidia.
Just to make it real nice, the submarine skipper isn't exactly sure where to look for us.
This is rather an unusual situation, is it not, Captain Bradford?
Well, you might call it that.
It's a situation that wouldn't happen to us if those Euclidean rocket ships were as blame perfect as you claimed they were.
That is true.
You are in a position of advantage now, Hall. You may think your remarks well advised, but let me warn you that once we are back in Euclidia, steps will be taken to curb your tongue.
Now, before you worry about taking any steps to do anything to us, you'd better give a little thought to saving yourselves. This boat won't float for more than a few minutes more. And when it goes down, we'll swim. Swim and float and tread water. And then swim and float some more. Possibly for hours until that rescue submarine locates us and picks us up.
I have told you. I've told you twice that I do not swim.
Then you don't give any orders. Tex and I can swim and hold you two above water for a little while. If you do as you're told. We will know how to obey orders.
I suppose you practice it right now. Might save a lot of trouble when the time comes.
What is to be done?
Drop your grip on the side of this boat and turn over on your backs.
Turn on our backs in the water?
Sure. Turn over on your backs. Here, Thales. Give me your hand. Now, don't try to push me through the bottom of the ocean. Just put your hand on my arm. In this manner? Yeah, that'll do.
Now, you do the same, Cheops.
Very well.
Now, turn over on your back and try lying as flat as possible in the water. Oh, don't worry about your nose. I'll keep it above water.
Very well.
You'll do the same thing, Thales. I do not feel any particular confidence in you, Hall. And you know how I felt about you all the time. You'd better either get some confidence in me or learn to swim. I will attempt to turn over on my back. Come on. There you are. That wasn't so hard, was it? It's just a ridiculous position for a scientist.
Maybe, but if Jerry lets your head go into water, your position would be a lot more ridiculous.
I would suggest, Thales, that you remain silent and be thankful these men are human fish.
It's a good idea, Cheops. Now, you're doing all right with your floating. Now, both of you know how it's done. Here, flop over right side up again and rest on this boat as long as you can.
How about it, Skipper? Will they do?
I think we can handle them, son. If they behave that well after the boat's gone down. You have no fear of our behavior, have you?
We haven't any fear. But you'd better have it. If Tex and I get tired swimming around with you.
We'll do exactly as ordered.
That may save you a lot of trouble. Well, it looks like we've done all we can until the commander arrives with her submarine. How do you estimate the distance separating us from our rescuer? I don't. I couldn't even guess.
Well, at least we can't see anything of her submarine. And she said she'd be on the surface.
The submarine which the commander is using will project only 10 feet above the water under ordinary conditions.
10 feet. Plus a little if she's riding high and fast. Yes. If the craft is making its best possible speed, it will stand less than 15 feet above water.
How far over the water can you see something? Only 15 feet high.
Slightly less than 5 miles, isn't it, Chaps? Yes. Precisely.
If the submarine is proceeding at top speed, it will not be visible to us until within 180 to 240 seconds run of our position.
Oh, boy. That's too blame close. If we can't see her any better at that, she can't see this thing half that far. She might run on past us and never know it.
Yes, that is indeed possible. Let's break a piece out of the top of this ship and get it up into the air now.
That is impossible, Captain. While the construction of this rocket plane has proven inadequate as a protection against a forced landing, you will find it much too strong to be torn apart with the hands.
I suppose so.
And of course, the blame thing turned upside down, so we can't get at the door.
That is another weakness we will remember and remedy when construction of more of these ships is done.
Better fix plenty of these things before you build any more of these. Hey, Tex, look over there.
Where, Jerry? Where?
Look, where I'm pointing. Can't you see something on top of the water?
I can, plainly.
Yes, I should say that was a submarine running on the surface.
Get away from this boat, everybody, quick. She's sinking.
Oh, boy, sure is.
Do we turn over now? You doing fast. Grab Thales, Jerry. Let's swim out a few strokes. This thing's going to pull funny when she goes down.
Right. Turn over, Thales. Now keep your mouth shut. Here we go.
You all right, Jerry?
Yep. I'm okay.
Able to get your breath, Pierce? I'm suffering no discomfort.
How are you doing, Thales?
I do not care for this position being pulled about by my head as a fish on a line. However, it will suffice.
You'd better. You'd feel like a fish without any water if I let go of you.
Jerry, that is a submarine. She isn't over half a mile away.
No, but it looks like she's running away from us.
I'm afraid she hasn't seen us yet.
Hey, Commander. Hey, the sub. Hey.
Please, exercise greater care, Hall. You nearly let my head sink when you thrashed around in that manner.
Yeah, I've got it. Let me take both of them, Jerry. Here, you men put your hands on my shoulder. Easy now. Okay, son. Now rise up in the water as far as you can and wave your arms.
Okay. It's no use, Tex. She doesn't see us.
Yes, she does, Jerry. She's putting about.
I can't see where that sub's getting any closer.
Well, you won't for a few minutes, probably. She was going at a terrific clip. It'll take us some time to swim around. Get over here to us. Are you sure that that's the Euclidean submarine? No doubt of that. Nothing else on the water today could make that kind of speed.
If it is the commander, she will reach us quickly.
Yes, that boat will describe a very small arc and lose headway rapidly.
It's doing that all right. Golly whiskers, Tex. Look at that thing come.
What a sight, Jerry. That girl is straightened out and heading right for us.
It would be well to signal that she is not to run near us at too great a speed. I imagine that our position would not be too comfortable if the water was rough.
You might get part of the ocean in your nose, but we could roll that out of you later.
That will not be necessary. The commander is far too clever to endanger a life she is attempting to save. You're right again, Caps. Sub is going to come gliding up to us here without even mussing the water.
How are we going to board that blame thing?
It will not be difficult, I think.
No, Jerry. Remember how the nose of those subs open?
Yeah, I remember.
Look, now, Jerry, look. That boat's only 100 yards from us. The stern is slowly settling under. She drifts up. I believe the commander will submerge the stern, bring the prow of the submarine to our immediate position in an upward manner, and admit us through the bow airlock.
That's it. It's getting closer. Oh, wiggle out, Bailey. I'll try to keep the water out of your face.
I will not move.
Now only the nose of the sub is sticking up out of the water. It's drifting quietly towards us. how that girl can handle that submarine.
She sure is good at it. Hey, in the sub there. You're close enough. Don't push us around with that thing.
Can you see which side the nose is hinged on, Jerry?
Yeah, right the way it's drifting.
And be sure and stay out from under. You might get hurt when it opens.
I'll watch it.
All right, Kibs. Turn over now and take hold of the edge of this hatchway.
Oh, I will do so. You too, Sally. Get yourself a good tight hold there.
Can you find a handhold, Jerry?
Sure. I'm fine.
We are indeed safe.
Oh, Jerry, are you ready?
Joan, what are you doing here?
Hello, Joan. We're all right.
Come aboard quickly. You must be in need of it.
Oh, we could sure use it.
You, Bailey, will board this vessel first and report to the commander in the central control section.
Do you presume to issue orders to me?
Those are the orders of the commander.
Very well. I shall be pleased enough to be aboard.
Well, I'll give you a hand. Up you go. You'll be sort of pleased to get you off my hands, too.
Can you make it?
I'm nearly within the submarine.
All right, you're next, Kibs. Right, Joan?
That is correct, Captain.
Hurry up, Kibs. I'm getting tired of this water.
I am making all possible speed. Is Mrs. Gregor on board the sub with you, Joan?
No, Captain Bradford's mother was resting when we left Euclidia. She does not know of the danger you and Jerry have been in.
That's good. All right, Jerry, in you go.
Oh, you first, Tex.
Orders, Jerry.
All right, Skipper. In I go, then. Nothing but my feelings. I've been holding up that guy Daly's for a long time.
Now, Captain, the way is clear for you.
I'll be right away, Joan. Right in.
Will you please follow the others to the central section? The commander has some hot liquid ready for you. I will remain here to close the port.
I'll help you, Joan.
No, off you go, Captain. It's orders, sir.
Aye, aye, Skipper.
Now, I will close the port, and we will return to Euclidia at once.
The Euclidean submarine, carrying the 4 men who were forced down on a test flight of a rocket plane, has landed them safely in the city of Euclidia. The 2 Euclidean scientists, Cheops and Thales, have gone to their own quarters, and the girl submarine commander is reporting the rescue to G-47. In the quarters of the Gregory party, we find our friends very happy over the reunion. Tex and Jerry are dressed in warm, dry clothing. Joan and her mother question them about their flight in the rocket plane.
But it must have been terribly dangerous, Tex.
Well, we've been in worse places.
Well, I never have.
No, Jerry. Your position at the time that rocket plane fell helpless into the water would seem to be about the worst possible situation.
And Tex knows it was. He just doesn't like to worry us.
Nothing to worry about. Those Euclideans had a flying machine that would fly after a fashion, but when their power failed them and the gas tanks developed a leak, they didn't know what to do.
They sure didn't. And you did. I guess these Euclideans have too many fancy instruments and gadgets on everything. They forget how to do anything themselves.
But they've been so careful to preserve their natural sense of proportion about other things. Those rooms they keep noisy and the small farm they have here. All such things are maintained to keep them in tune with the normal way of doing things.
Even so, Mother, the failure of this rocket plane flight is an example of what the captain means. The Euclideans do depend entirely too much on their instruments.
Yeah, that's right, Joan. The air isn't the best place in the world for that. Things happen pretty fast when you start falling out of the air. The man who flies only by instruments hasn't time to stop and remember how they used to do it in the old days.
Well, one thing is sure. If Tex hadn't known plenty about flying, we'd have hit that water so hard that the rocket plane would have gone straight through to the other side.
Jerry, that is not possible.
Well, maybe not, but we'd have hit plenty hard just the same.
Yeah, but we didn't, so let's stop worrying about it.
Yes, we may as well drop it. When Tex gets that, I don't want to be interviewed, it was only a routine flight look on his face. There's nothing more to be had from him.
Well, one thing we learned, and it ought to help us a lot.
What was that?
Oh, there's plenty of things wrong with that rocket ship, and if G-47 keeps his promise to let Tex work on them, he'll have plenty of time to plan our escape from here before he's through.
Careful, Jerry.
You need have no further worry about being overheard.
No, don't be too sure, Joan. Remember how Thales talked to us through that radio speaker they installed for us? How easy it was for him to hear our conversation in the control room?
Golly, whiskers. That's right.
We have no further need for caution in our conversation in these quarters. I am positive of that.
You seem sure of yourself, Joan, but I'm afraid the rest of us don't share your confidence in the matter.
Perhaps you have not learned all that I have had proven to me.
Well, giggling goldfish. Don't act so blame mysterious about everything. What do you know that we don't?
You are impatient, Jerry.
Well, Joan, for once I think Jerry is justified. Our position here is not so enviable that we can afford any secrets from each other.
I am sorry, Captain. I will explain.
Please do, dear, at once.
As you know, I rode with the girl commander as she took that submarine to your rescue.
She did a swell job of it, too. Gee, Mrs. Gregory, if you could have seen the way that girl...
Jerry Hall, I am trying to explain.
Oh, I'm sorry.
The commander and I had a splendid opportunity for conversation as we searched for you on the surface of the water. One of the things I learned
is that the Euclideans believe our position to be so absolutely hopeless that they are removing all guards assigned to spy on our movements and discussions.
Well, that'll help a lot if you're sure of it.
I am quite sure of it, Captain. However, I think it wise to exercise some little caution when discussing matters of importance.
I agree with that.
Me too.
What else did you learn, Joan, dear?
The other item is particularly interesting and possibly important to us. The commander will be sent in here to share these quarters with us.
That girl, Commander?
Yes.
Why, I thought you said these Euclideans weren't going to bother to watch us so closely after
They are not.
Well, looks to me like they're putting a spy right under the dining room table.
Sure looks that way to me.
It certainly does.
It means nothing of the kind. The commander will be one of us, a prisoner, no longer a Euclidean.
Why, Joan, dear, do you realize what you're saying?
Of course, Mother.
But what's it all about?
Well, I got an idea from something she said to Joan and me. G-47 found out she helped us escape from that island. I'll bet that's it.
That is the answer. G-47 knows that the commander helped us at the time we put the scientists to sleep in the laboratory with the captain's gas formula.
And she's being stripped of her high command in the Euclidean fleet?
She is.
Oh, golly whiskers. That makes one more for our side. And that girl knows a lot about this place.
She certainly does. This may be a help to us.
It seems incredible.
Hey, that's the word I was trying to remember.
The girl is so valuable to these Euclideans. She's the finest submarine commander they have. I wonder if it isn't some sort of a trick.
I know it is not. In talking with the commander, I could see that she is deeply interested in learning something of the ways of our world. I described to her some of the pleasant things I had seen during my brief visit to Los Angeles, and her face positively shone with excitement.
Excitement? That girl got excited?
She did.
Oh, that's almost too much.
Yes, that girl is the coolest person in an emergency that I've ever seen. And if she was excited about the prospects of becoming one of us, she must be in earnest about it.
She was very much in earnest. I hope you will not object, Mother, but I promised her that you would allow her to wear one of your dresses so that she might see how it would change her appearance.
Of course she may wear one of my dresses, or all of them for that matter. Hasn't she ever worn anything but that uniform of Euclidean cloth?
Nothing. The commander was born on Euclidia, and except for ocean voyages, has spent her entire 22 years here.
Gee whiz. 22 years in this place.
Seems pretty terrible to us, son, but I suppose you can get used to anything. Especially if you don't know what to do about changing your position.
Oh, I'm anxious to see her. When will she arrive?
I believe within a very short time.
Tex, will you help me?
Well, sure. Doing what, Pat?
Well, let's fix up the little room next to mine. The one you have your instruments in.
Yes, that's probably the room they figured on her using.
I presume it is, as that is the only vacant room in these quarters.
Come on, Tex. We'll put it in order.
This is certainly a surprising angle to run into.
Gee whiz, Joan. This is the weirdest thing I ever heard of. One of the Euclideans coming over to our side.
Jerry.
Huh?
Do you like the commander so very much?
Oh, sure. I told you she was a friend of ours.
I do not mean that. I mean, do you like her as well as you like me?
Oh, Joan, stop that silly stuff, will you? You women are all alike. Sure, I like her. She's a mighty pretty girl, and well, so are you.
Am I pretty, Jerry?
Yes, you're pretty, Jerry.
Now, stop worrying about that girl. Why, she's 22 years old. I guess she won't have much time for me.
But would you like her to have time for you?
Joan, will you stop acting like a baby? Oh, I bet that's her now.
I suppose it is.
Come in.
It is I.
Hello, Commander. Come in and make yourself at home.
It is indeed unfortunate that I must disturb you in this manner.
We do not mind.
Well, I'll say we don't. We're tickled to death. Here, sit down.
Thank you. I suppose Joan has told you that I am to be one of you?
Joan? Did you call her Joan?
That is the name she will use in your world. I am now of that world.
Thank you, Commander.
Well, wait a minute, then. You're not going to be called Commander anymore, either. What's your real name?
I anticipated such a question, and I am ready and willing to enter your ways in all things. I have my record from the Euclidean personnel file. My worldly name is Elaine Raleigh.
Elaine. Gee, that's a pretty name.
Elaine is a nice name. Do you think you will like it?
I may as well like it.
Well, look, Commander. Elaine, that's swell. Now, there's one more thing I wish you'd do for us. Stop talking like a Euclidean and talk like we do.
Perhaps the Elaine is able to speak no other way.
To be sure I am.
Oh, boy. Did you hear that, Joan?
Naturally.
Well, it may be natural to you, but it sure surprised me.
The Euclideans have found it necessary, for numerous reasons, to develop a unique speech which will hide their true identities in time of need. But we are also constantly trained in using a manner of speech suitable to your world, so that we may not attract undue attention when moving in your world on secret missions.
Well, I sure like your voice a lot better this way.
It is indeed more pleasant.
Gee, Joan, you know, you sound more like a Euclidean than the commander.
Perhaps I do. I have had no training in any other manner of speech.
Well, you just stick around Elaine and me, and we'll teach you how to talk.
Jerry.
One thing that I cannot understand, Jerry. Do many people in your world prattle on endlessly about meaningless things as you do?
Oh, I'm not so bad.
You speak far too much and say too little. Yet you seem sensible, and I have seen evidence of your intelligence.
In the world which Jerry knows, it is not considered necessary to wear a mask of science in order to display intelligence.
Oh, gee, thanks, Joan. You sure can make words get up and dance for you.
Well, I see that our latest edition has arrived. Welcome to the prisoner section, Commander.
I am grateful for the privilege, Captain.
Hey, Elaine, forget that commander stuff and talk to the captain like you did us.
It is not easy to change a habit so deeply ingrained.
Hello. Say, that's a surprise.
It was also a surprise to us, Captain.
So, this Euclidean manner of speech is only disguised, as Joan tried to explain to us.
Precisely, Captain Bradford. G47 has felt that we should be able to go into the world without exciting any suspicion.
Well, I like this way of talking a whole lot better.
So do I, Jerry. We've heard about enough of that high-pitched, whining voice Euclideans affect.
Your natural manner of speaking is much more pleasant to the ear.
Sorry to keep you waiting, Commander, but we had used the extra room here as a storeroom, and I was clearing it out for you.
That is quite all right, Mrs. Gregory.
Tex, did you hear that?
Sure, I heard it, Pat. The commander has a perfectly good voice, which he's been hiding under that nasal whine of the Euclideans.
Well, that certainly is a relief. You're welcome to our party, Commander. Thank you.
The commander will now be known by her worldly name, Elaine.
Elaine. What a pretty name. And you're very lovely, my dear, now that you've dropped your Euclidean manner.
Boy, I think she's keen.
Jerry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And I should like to see you in one of my dresses. I would enjoy that.
Hold it. There's the dinner bell.
It is indeed the signal for the evening meal.
You are forgetting again.
It is stupid of me. I will not forget often.
Well, now, don't you worry about that, Elaine. Look, let's all gather around that table, which is in the habit of coming up through the floor just along about this time.
Oh, it's right on the dot. Here it comes.
I am happy to see that you have real food in here. Did you have to eat that concentrated food? Most of the time.
Oh, we've got a lot of things you'll like.
Well, now, look, let's talk about them after we eat. I'm hungry.
I am sure you will be happy with Mother and her friends, Elaine. They know and do so many lovely things in their world.
I am sure you are correct, Joan.
Oh, it is so pleasant to hear you call me Joan. I hope I never hear the name Cleostra again.
Well, Tex, our family has grown. Will you serve, Elaine?
Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Look, up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman.
Kellogg's Pep. P-E-P, Pep. Kellogg's Pep, the Sunshine Cereal, presents
The Adventures of Superman. Today, as Clark Kent and Perry White keep anxious vigil at the Daily Planet, all Jimmy Olsen's hope for escape from his sinister captor, Frank Hill, seems lost. And with it, the hope of winning the battle he has fought with such unwavering courage.
Say, gang, just ask Grandpa what he used to say when he was young about something he liked. Bet you he'll say, Hotsy-totsy. Well, today you say it's on the beam. And if it's Kellogg's Pep you're talking about, you say it's on the sunbeam. You know, Pep is called the Sunshine Cereal. It's so golden and toasty and sunny-flavored it brightens up breakfast any day. How those crisp flakes of whole wheat do needle your appetite. Every tender spoonful teases for another. Yes, sir, Pep's Sunshine flavor is so smooth, that tender crispness is so keen that, well, it's practically irresistible. And anyway, who wants to resist the solid sort of breakfast that helps start your day in high? Kellogg's Pep gives you hearty whole wheat nourishment plus. So pitch right in, gang. Get set to polish off every last spoonful in your bowl. That's the smart thing to do, you know, because nowadays the cereal grains are being sent to give that swell grain nourishment to fellows and girls overseas. Remember, when Mom brings Kellogg's Pep home from the grocer's, don't waste it. If you pour your own Pep, pour it carefully and eat up every bit you pour out. And say, kind of keep watch on your younger brothers and sisters, too. Get the right habit, gang. Eat all your Pep. Don't waste it.
And now, the adventures of Superman. Caught in a trap set for him by Frank Hill, the vicious leader of a hate-mongering organization calling itself the Guardians of America, young Jimmy Olsen, cub reporter for the Daily Planet, has been literally sentenced to death. Hill has instructed two of his henchmen, once darkness falls, to bind and gag Jimmy, drive him to the Metropolis Bridge, and drop him into the river. At the moment, however, Jimmy has been locked in a vacant room of the organization's penthouse headquarters, where, in a final desperate attempt to communicate with Clark Kent, he wrote a message, wrapped it around a coin, and dropped it to an Italian organ grinder on the street 15 stories below. As we continue now, Jimmy is leaning out the open window, anxiously watching the organ grinder as he seemingly studies the handwriting on the scrap of paper. For a moment, a ray of hope seems to shine through the gathering dusk. But only for a moment. The horrible truth dawns on Jimmy as the organ grinder shrugs, adjusts the strap of his instrument, and strolls down the street playing a tune. He cannot read English. Jimmy's heart sinks to the pit of his stomach and he gulps. Then suddenly he hears a key grate in the lock. He pulls the window down, turns as the door opens, and Frank Hill enters the room.
You weren't thinking of jumping out that window, were you, Olsen?
Oh, what window?
There happens to be only one window in the room. You're standing in front of it. We heard it slam shut just as we unlocked the door.
I wanted some air.
Oh, and you suddenly decided when the key turned in the lock that you'd had enough air. Is that it?
Yeah.
Well,
so
we're going to give you a little more air, Olsen. It occurred to me that since you were here once before, that you undoubtedly gave this address to Mr. Kent and the police. Since it might be somewhat embarrassing if the police suddenly arrived and found you here, we've decided to move you until it's dark enough to get rid of you permanently as planned. You'll go along with Eric and Carl.
That's what you think. Don't come near me or I'll kill you.
Wait, Carl. He's got a knife. A silly little penknife.
It won't look silly, jammed between your ribs.
Now, you're just making things more difficult for yourself, Olsen. You can't get out of this room.
That suits me. I'm willing to wait till the police come.
Oh, so you did give them the address.
What do you think?
Carl.
Yes?
In the closet in my office on the top shelf, you'll find a small tear gas spray gun. Bring it to me.
Yes.
And in just a moment, we'll see how long you stand there brandishing that ridiculous knife.
I'm all through standing.
Look out, Eric. Did he get you, Eric?
It just cut my sleeve.
Oh, the dirty little rat. I guess he figures he's got nothing to lose.
Here's the tear gas, boss. What's up?
He pulled a knife on us, forced us out of the room. Now reach out and open the door, Carl, and then step aside. If I can shoot some of this stuff in his face, it'll take all the fight out of him.
He's
careful now.
He's leaning against the door.
Well, kick it open. No, wait a minute. That's no good. You'll have to hit the door with your shoulder.
You said he's got a knife?
Well, what of it?
He'll take a swipe at me.
Well, you don't have to hit the door hard. Now push it. He's only a kid. He can't hold it shut very long. We've got to get him out of here.
I don't like this too much.
Well, neither do I, but we can't help ourselves. Now go ahead. I'll cover you with the tear gas. If he shows himself, he'll get a faceful.
Okay.
That's it, Carl. You're getting it. He's weakening. He's pushing. He let go of the door.
Can't fit into the room. He's going to knife him.
All right, grab him, Eric. He can't see.
The knife. I said.
All right. Let him go.
I'm blind. I can't see.
Where you're going, Olsen, there's nothing to look at. Take him away.
Temporarily blinded, his eyes burning like live coals, Jimmy is led from the room by Frank Hill's henchmen. Meanwhile, in Editor Perry White's office at the Daily Planet, where White and Clark Kent have been waiting for a telephone call from Jimmy, Kent is beginning to worry.
I don't understand why he hasn't called.
Because he's Olsen, that's why. Because he hasn't a brain in his head.
Chief, that's not
Does he think I can hold the final edition until 10 o'clock tomorrow morning?
What time is it?
7:30.
We're an hour late with it now. No. I can't hold it any longer. Can't story or no story.
Chief, he's bound to call.
When? Next Tuesday? I'm sorry. I've got to get that paper out.
Baker, first room.
Very white. Put page 1 back into the form and let her roll.
Chief, can't you wait another 5 minutes?
Not a minute. Let her roll, Baker.
Okay.
Well, that's that. I should have done it an hour ago. No, I knew that kid wouldn't come through.
Something must have happened to him.
If anything did, it's your fault. I told you right from the beginning not to let him get mixed up with those hoodlums. You'd better call Henderson.
No, I can take care of it.
You can take care of what?
I know where he went. I wanted to steer clear of the place till Jimmy got the evidence we need, but now maybe I better look it over.
Oh, don't you be a fool too, Kent. Call the police. It's a job for them.
No, it's a job for...
For whom?
For me. I'll be back as soon as possible, Chief.
Now, wait a minute. Where are you going?
To look for Jimmy. Good thing this storeroom's empty. If they ever decide to use it as an office, I'm in trouble. Off with these clothes. Don't understand why Jimmy hasn't called. Something must have happened. But what? Well, I'll find out soon enough.
As Superman. Up with this window.
Out and away!
Leaping out into the gathering dusk, Superman circles high above the Daily Planet building, hovers for a moment in curious flight as he determines direction, and then, red cape streaming in the wind, rockets across the city, faster almost than the speed of light. In a matter of seconds, he is again hovering motionless in midair, this time above the apartment building on Willow Drive.
Jim said they occupied the penthouse apartment. There it is, directly below me. But there's no one there. It's empty. That's strange. I wonder where Jim could be.
By a curious twist of fate, even as Superman voices his thoughts, a black sedan is speeding away from the apartment building on Willow Drive. And in it is Jimmy Olsen taking what Hill, the hate monger, called his last ride. Stand by for the tense, exciting climax of today's episode in just a moment.
Say now, I'll bet you never realized how much those golden crisp flakes of Kellogg's Pep can do for a plump, juicy strawberry. But if you'll have a Pep Strawberry Flip for breakfast, you'll find out. Sure, that's this week's Pep Dish of the Week, you know. And it's a humdinger. Why, it's practically out of this world the way that famous sunshine flavor and that tender crispness seem to rise and shine. Just try it. Here's how easy it is to make a Pep Strawberry Flip. You pour out your regular serving of Kellogg's Pep, the Sunshine cereal, and then you put some fine, ripe strawberries on top. Then take your spoon and very carefully give the whole thing a neat flip so the berries are scattered all through the delicate, tender whole wheat flakes. Good? Why, it's a smooth dish, gang. Fact is, no matter how you serve it, Kellogg's Pep always tastes so good you want to eat up every last spoonful in your bowl. And, nothing could be smarter nowadays when we shouldn't waste cereal. Because whole wheat is one of the cereal grains picked out to go to fellas and girls around the world. So, gang, when Mom brings Kellogg's Pep home from the grocer's, make sure it's not wasted. Handle with care is the idea if you pour your own Pep, and eat up every bit you pour out. Just remember, eat all your Pep. Don't waste it.
Darkness has fallen over the city of Metropolis like a black shroud. Darting through the starless sky like some giant bird, Superman has checked every possible place that Jimmy Olsen might be. The pool room hangout of Muggs and his gang, Jimmy's house in the suburbs, his own apartment that he occupies as Clark Kent, even police headquarters. But the boy reporter is nowhere to be found. Now, once again in his guise of the mild-mannered reporter, we find him with Editor Perry White in the latter's office.
What time is it, Chief?
It's 5 minutes later than it was when I told you 5 minutes ago.
This is no time for jokes.
It's 20 after 8. Why don't you call the police, Kent, instead of mooning around here like an idiot?
I can't. If I call them, Henderson will raid the pool room and throw a monkey wrench into the works. The whole idea of this plan was to get the evidence on whoever was behind the hate campaign before we pounced.
So what have you got? No evidence, and Olsen's missing. For all we know, he may be dead.
We won't have any trouble with him, Eric. He's half dead now. Get that rear door open.
Maybe you have tied the gag too tight. Maybe he cannot breathe.
So what? He won't be breathing anyway 5 minutes after he hits the water. Open the door.
Yeah.
Grab his feet.
Yeah.
All right. Swing him in.
Yeah.
Good enough. Who's driving?
I will take it. You're sure it is dark enough.
Plenty. By the time we hit the bridge, it'll be pitch black. Let's go.
What is the setup again, Carl?
Simple. We drive to the middle of the bridge, stall like we had a flat until there's no traffic, then drag him out and heave him over. It's a 200-foot drop to the water, and the tide's going out. We can't miss.
Pulling away from in front of the nondescript frame house where Jimmy had been held prisoner for the past hour, the black sedan heads for the bridge with the boy reporter bound and gagged in the rear seat. Meanwhile, miles away in the poorly furnished flat of a tenement house deep in the metropolis slums, a strange scene is taking place. A scene that, by a queer trick of fate, may mean life or death for Jimmy Olsen. Maria, daughter of the Italian organ grinder, is about to sew up a tear in the pocket of her father's coat. And as she turns the pocket inside out, a scrap of paper flutters to the floor. She picks it up, notices the penciled writing on it, smooths it out, and reads it. For a moment, she is puzzled. She reads the strange note again and is about to call out and ask her father who wrote it when she notices he is fast asleep on the couch. Smiling sheepishly, she crumples the scrap of paper and drops it into an ashtray, returning to her sewing. And in that tense moment, Jimmy's life hangs on a thread as slender as the one trailing from the eye of the girl's needle. What will happen? Can anyone, even Superman, save Jimmy now? Or has his life been discarded like the crumpled scrap of paper in the ashtray? Gang, whatever you do, don't miss tomorrow's super exciting episode entitled Race Against Death. Tune in tomorrow, same time, same station.
And remember, for breakfast, it's Kellogg's Pep.
For excitement, the adventures of Superman.
Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Superman DC Comic Magazine and is brought to you Monday through Friday at the same time by Kellogg's Pep, the Sunshine Cereal. Say, gang, you know what fun it is to make your dog sit up and beg for something good to eat? Well, if you want to make sure your dog gets a good dinner that'll help him keep him strong and husky, ask your mother to give him Kellogg's Grow Pup dog food. If you feed Grow Pup to your dog along with his scraps of meat and fat, he ought to get along just fine. That kind of eating will help give him strong bones and teeth and muscles. There's Grow Pup Ribbon, Grow Pup Meal, and Grow Pup Pellets. Just see which your dog likes best and ask Mother to feed it to him regularly. Remember, that's Kellogg's Grow Pup. And be sure to be with us tomorrow for the thrilling adventures of Superman. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System.
Faster than a speeding bullet. More powerful than a locomotive. Able to leap tall buildings at a single bound. Look, up in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Superman.
Kellogg's Pep. P-E-P, Pep. Kellogg's Pep, the Sunshine Cereal, presents
The Adventures of Superman. Today, as Jimmy Olsen's urgent note to Clark Kent rests crumpled and unheeded in the home of the organ grinder, the young reporter himself seems destined to become the next victim of Frank Hill and his gang of hate mongers.
Hello there, gang. This is your pal Dan McCullough. Say, have you heard the neatest trick of the week? It's Kellogg's Pep Dish of the Week, a Pep Strawberry Flip. And is it a neat trick for breakfast? Now, here's how it goes. You top your regular serving of Kellogg's Pep, the Sunshine Cereal, with plump, juicy strawberries. Then take your spoon and very carefully now give the whole thing a neat flip so that the berries nestle down among those golden toasted flakes of whole wheat. Add milk and sugar, and then see for yourself how that tender crispness and sunshine flavor can rise and shine. Kellogg's Pep sure does things for your appetite, no matter how it's served. Makes you want to eat the hearty sort of breakfast everybody needs. And you know, Pep has loads of nourishment to offer on its own. Solid whole wheat nutrition plus. So dig in, gang. Get all the good eating in your breakfast bowl of Kellogg's Pep. Don't leave one single tender, crisp flake, because it's the wrong idea to waste cereal particularly these days when the cereal grains are being sent to fellows and girls all over the world. Keep that in mind when Mom brings Kellogg's Pep home from the grocer's. Don't waste it. If you pour your own Pep, pour it carefully and polish off every bit you pour out. Pass the word along to the rest of your family, too. Always make sure to eat all your Pep. Don't waste it.
And now the adventures of Superman. When Jimmy Olsen, cub reporter for the Daily Planet, masqueraded as a young hoodlum and gained admittance to the headquarters of a subversive hate-mongering organization calling itself the Guardians of America, it was part of a plan devised by Clark Kent, a plan to learn the identity of the organization's leader and bring him to justice for his vicious attempts to stir up racial and religious hatred. However, in learning the man's identity, a cold-blooded fanatic named Frank Hill, Jimmy was engineered into a trap and at the moment is in danger of losing his life. Bound and gagged and half-conscious from the beatings he has received, he is being driven to the Metropolis Bridge, where it is planned to drop him into the dark river hundreds of feet below. Meanwhile, Kent, as Superman, has searched the city for Jimmy, and now, once more in his guise of the mild-mannered reporter, is sweating it out with Editor Perry White in the latter's office at the Daily Planet. Standing at the window, peering down into the darkened street, he stiffens as the bell in the Metropolis Insurance Building strikes the hour.
9 o'clock. It's been gone almost 5 hours. How much longer are you going to wait before calling the police? For all you know, he may be dead by now. That's a pleasant thought. Well, it wasn't meant to be pleasant. You're responsible for that boy, Kent. I know. You sent him into that rat's nest of killers against my better judgment. All right. Remember my telling you...
I remember, Chief. I remember everything. What's that got to do with it? The important thing is that Jimmy's missing and we don't know where he is.
Then why don't you do something about it instead of beating your chest and tearing out your hair?
I've done all I can. I checked every possible place he might have been. Their hideout, the pool room, his mother's house, my apartment, even police headquarters.
When did you do all this?
When I left you an hour or so ago.
Well, you were only gone a matter of 20 minutes. What'd you do, sprout wings?
I suppose you could call it that.
Ah, you're crazy. I've heard enough of this talk. If you won't call the police, I will.
No, wait.
I'm all through waiting.
But it might ruin everything. Jimmy may be all right. Anyway, the police can't do any more than I've already done.
No. Who do you think you are, Superman?
I don't think I know.
What's that?
Nothing. Hang up, Chief. Will you wait? Wait another 15 minutes.
Okay. 15 minutes, but no more.
Better take a look at him, Carl. See if he is all right.
Who cares?
Take a look.
Okay. Shanghied, Olsen? He doesn't answer. I think he's got something in his mouth.
Too tight, that gag, too tight.
So what?
Hill wants it to look like he drowned. We are supposed to take the ropes and the gag off him before we toss him over, in case the tide does not carry him out as they pick up his body.
He's still alive. I can hear him breathing. Oh, turn right here and take the causeway shorter.
How long do you figure it will take us to get to the bridge?
15 minutes. No more.
Roaring into the darkness, the black sedan carrying Jimmy Olsen to his death heads for the Metropolis Bridge 15 minutes away. The same 15 minutes Clark Kent and Perry White have agreed to wait before calling in the police. Meanwhile, far across the city, in what passes for the parlor of a poorly furnished three-room apartment deep in the slums, the one person who has it within her power to save Jimmy's life is seated in a chair mending the pocket of her father's coat. She is Maria, the daughter of the organ grinder, to whom Jimmy dropped a message when he was locked in a room of Frank Hill's penthouse headquarters. A message the old Italian could not read. And now, as the car carrying Jimmy draws closer and closer to the bridge, the message itself on a tiny scrap of paper is crumpled in an ashtray at Maria's elbow, discarded after she had found it in her father's pocket. From the kitchen of the flat, a cheap alarm clock ticks the time away, time that is so precious to Jimmy. Finally, the mending job is finished. Putting the coat aside, Maria happens to glance at the ashtray. Something impels her to reach for the scrap of paper, unfold it, and read the message again, her lips shaping the penciled words softly.
Please take this to Clark Kent at the Daily Planet newspaper. He will give you $1. Dear Mr. Kent, they have locked me in a room at 250 Willow Drive. They are going to throw me off the Metropolis Bridge as soon as it gets dark. Please come and bring help. Jimmy.
Puzzled, Maria looks up. Her father is fast asleep on a threadbare couch at the far end of the room. Rising, she crosses to the couch and shakes him gently.
Papa. Wake up, Papa.
What's the matter?
Papa, look.
Yeah, what, carissimo?
This piece of paper, Papa. I found it in your pocket.
Madre de Dios, what is you waking me up?
It's got some writing on it. It says to take it to a man on a newspaper.
Oh, yeah? Is that so funny?
Where'd you get it, Papa?
It's a wrap around the two baits the fellas a drop from a window.
Where?
Well, I forget a big opossum in the house.
On Willow Drive, maybe?
Yeah, that's it, to Willow Drive.
A man dropped it from a window?
Yeah, with the two bits. What does she say, the paper?
It says he needs help. He's locked in a room and they're going to throw him off the bridge.
Hey, what's that? Are you sure?
That's what it says. I'm going to go downstairs.
What for?
I'm going to call this man Clark Kent and tell him. I'll be right back.
Being left to the next corner, pretty close to the bridge now. You can see the light.
Yes, I see them.
I sure will be glad to get this job over with.
Well, it will not be long now.
5 more minutes, Kent.
I'll take your word for it, Chief. You don't have to announce it minute by minute.
You know, Kent, sometimes I think you're a fool, and sometimes I think you're a genius.
All right.
Here you are, eating your heart out because Jimmy Olsen's missing. Instead of doing something about it, you wait.
That may be Jim. Hello.
I'd like to talk to Mr. Clark Kent.
This is Clark Kent speaking.
Oh, my name is Maria D'Angelo. My father came home with pizza.
Hello? I'm sorry, I can't hear you. Can you talk louder, please?
I said my name is Maria D'Angelo.
Yes?
What is it, Kent?
I don't know yet. Yes, go ahead.
My father's an organ grinder. You know, with a monkey.
Yes?
He came home from work a couple of hours ago with a piece of paper that had a message on it.
A message?
Yes, it has your name on it. It's from someone named Jimmy.
Jimmy. Good Lord. What is it? Wait, Chief, please. What does the message say, miss?
Do you want me to read it to you?
Yes, please.
It says, please take this to Clark Kent at the Daily Planet newspaper. He will give you $1. Then it says, dear Mr. Kent, they have me locked in a room at 250.
All right. Slow down now. We're almost at the center of the bridge.
Not much traffic, is there?
That suits me fine. Pull over to the right, close to the railing. Okay, this is far enough. Hold up.
Yeah.
Kill the motor.
How does it look?
All right. I'll get out and you open the trunk and play around with the tools while you cut the hooks on his arms and legs. Leave the gag on till we're ready to toss him over.
Okay.
Make it fast, Eric.
All right.
We've got to get rid of him and be out of here in 60 seconds.
60 seconds, one solitary minute. Can anything save Jimmy now? We'll be back in just a moment with the exciting climax of today's episode. So keep listening.
Say, you know what's a real catchy eye-opener when you come down to breakfast first thing in the morning? A bowl of Kellogg's Pep. Yes, sir. These crispy golden toasted flakes of whole wheat sure do give the go-ahead signal to your appetite every time. They're crisp, they're tender, they're full up with snappy sunshine flavor. They're delicate flakes of Kellogg's Pep, the Sunshine cereal. Good for you, too. Sure, your mom knows that. Because Pep brings you that famous whole wheat nutrition and more. Just show me a fellow or girl who can resist the proper solid sort of breakfast when Kellogg's Pep heads the menu. Why, every single spoonful is a rare treat in itself. Every crunchy flake is so terrific that, well, you want to polish off every last bit in your bowl. And you know, that's mighty important nowadays, because the cereal grains, like the whole wheat and Kellogg's Pep, have been picked out to send to fellows and girls overseas. So, gang, this is not the time to waste cereal. When Mom brings Kellogg's Pep home from the grocer's, make sure there's no waste at your house. If you pour your own Pep, pour it carefully, and eat up every bit you pour out. And say, pass the word along to your younger brothers and sisters, too. Get hep to Pep, gang. Eat all your Pep. Don't waste it.
Parked at the center of the huge span of the Metropolis Bridge, Frank Hill's two henchmen, Carl and Eric, prepare to perform the last horrible act in their drama of murder, dropping Jimmy's half-conscious body into the dark, swirling river hundreds of feet below. Meanwhile, in Perry White's office at the Daily Planet, Clark Kent is still on the phone with Maria D'Angelo, the organ grinder's daughter.
Yes, I've got that. Go on, miss.
Then it says they are going to throw me off the Metropolis Bridge as soon as it gets dark.
Great Scott.
Kent, what is it?
Do you want
No, that's enough. Thank you.
Now, look here, Kent.
Don't bother me now, Chief. I've got to go.
Oh, no, you don't. You come back here.
Let go of my arm.
You're not leaving this office until you tell me.
Let go of my arm, I said.
I don't care what you said. Once and for all,
I'm going to have to do something drastic, something I don't want to do.
You can do anything you want, except...
All right, here goes.
The coast is clear. Get him out of the car. Rip the gag off. Don't bother untying it, rip it.
Get this off.
Okay. Now, up and over with him.
In the shadowed darkness, the two men raised the almost inert body of Jimmy Olsen above the railing, while almost at the same moment, at the other end of the city, Clark Kent strips off the clothes of the mild-mannered reporter and emerges in the red cape and blue costume of Superman. But can even he reach the bridge in time? Gang, no matter what happens, don't miss tomorrow's thrill-packed episode. Tune in, same time, same station.
And remember, for breakfast, it's Kellogg's Pep.
For excitement, the adventures of Superman.
Superman is a copyrighted feature appearing in Superman DC comic magazines and is brought to you Monday through Friday at the same time by Kellogg's Pep, the Sunshine Cereal. Lots of you kids have dogs. And I'll bet one of the things they enjoy most is a tug of war. Dogs seem to get such a kick out of using their strong teeth and muscles. Now, if you want to help keep your dog strong and husky, feed him Kellogg's Grow Pup dog food. It's just wonderful for dogs and has a good meaty flavor dogs like. There are 3 different kinds. There's Grow Pup Ribbon, Grow Pup Meal, and Grow Pup Pellets. Ask your mother to get Kellogg's Grow Pup today and see if your dog doesn't gobble it right up. And be sure to be with us tomorrow for the thrilling adventures of Superman. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System.
Tired of the everyday grind? Ever dream of a life of romantic adventure? Want to get away from it all? We offer you Escape.
Escape, designed to free you from the 4 walls of today for a half hour of high adventure.
You are on a paradise island, living in happiness and freedom, while the woman who loathes you for what you are is planning to take away your freedom and forever put an end to your happy life.
Listen now as Escape brings you Somerset Maugham's unusual story, The Vessel of Wrath.
As I sit here with the sea-cooled breezes coming into the open window and the sounds of the breakers washing the sands before my house, I think of the far places and the people I have known there. In particular, I think of the thing that happened in the chain of islands known as the Alas Group, which is a fair distance from Java. It extends about 75 miles east and west and 40 miles north and south. At a certain moment of the world's history, the controller of the principal island, which is called Baru, was Mynheer Everett Gruter. And he ruled the people who inhabited the Alas Islands with firmness, tempered by a keen sense of the ridiculous. He was very short and extremely fat, and he had twinkling blue eyes. He knew that he had no dignity in his form, but for the sake of his position, he made up for it by dressing very dapperly. One morning in the early heat of summer, his head boy came into his bedroom while he was dressing.
What is it?
Tuan Jones, mynheer. He wishes to see you.
Oh, what an unholy hour for a holy man to call.
Yes, mynheer.
Very well. Ask the Tuan to wait and say I shall come directly.
Tuan Jones was the Reverend Owen Jones in charge of the Baptist mission on the Alice Island. His headquarters were also on the island of Baru. He was a tall, thin, melancholy man with a long face, sallow and drawn, of about 40. He lived with his sister in a little white house about a half mile from the village. She was about the same age as her brother and bore a remarkable resemblance. Mr. Grutter both disliked and respected the Reverend Mr. Jones. Disliked him because he was narrow-minded and dogmatic. Respected him because he was honest and good, and the only qualified doctor in the group. At any event, Mr. Grutter buttoned up his tunic, went into the sitting room. Reverend Owen Jones got up.
Good morning, Mr. Jones. Have you come in to have a peg with me before I start my day's work?
I've come to see you upon a very distressing matter, Mr. Grutter.
Oh? Sit down, my dear fellow, and have a cigar.
Thank you, no. I neither smoke nor drink, Mr. Grutter.
Yes, of course. How could I forget? Please, sit down, Mr. Jones. What can I do for you?
I've come to see you about the man they call Ginger Ted. I want to know what you're going to do about him.
Why, what has happened?
It's disgraceful. There was a disgraceful row in one of the Chinese shops last night. Ginger Ted wrecked the place and half killed the owner.
Drunk again, I suppose?
Naturally. When is he anything else? It took 6 men to get him to jail.
Well, he is a hefty fellow.
He must be deported from these islands, Mr. Grutter. Absolutely must.
Oh?
The man's presence is a public scandal. He's never sober from morning to night. And as for his behavior with the native women...
Yes.
Well, Mr. Grutter, you know this man's transgressions just as well as I do. It's grown steadily worse ever since he came here. Now he has really overstepped the limit. I beg you to use your power and turn him out once and for all.
It is time for me to go to my office, Mr. Jones. I shall see what must be done. I wish you good morning.
A few minutes later, Mr. Grutter was in his office, where he immediately called for Ginger Ted to be brought before him. The man was led in with the water on either side. They left him standing there. He swayed a little, and obviously was suffering from a furious hangover. He had a black eye, and his mouth was cut and swollen. And Mr. Grutter was quite upset, for this unappetizing object had shared many a bottle of beer with him, and he liked the reckless way in which Ginger Ted squandered the priceless treasure of life. He looked at the charge sheet before him.
I see that you smashed up Lum Wang's shop to smithereens, then proceeded to break his head with a bottle, resisted arrest, and knocked flat the sergeant. What have you to say for yourself?
I was blind. I don't remember a thing about it. Oh, man. They say I half killed him. I suppose I did. I'll pay the damage if they give me time.
You will, Ginger, but it's me who will give you time. You are a disgrace. Incorrigible. You have kicked up row after row. I can see it is hopeless.
You know I meant no harm.
That is what you always say. Look here, why can't you behave yourself? We are friends, aren't we?
Of course we are.
Well, you have made a devil of a mess this time, and the Reverend Jones is also having you kicked out.
Oh.
I have got to do something about it, or he will write to the governor and the Batavia.
No,
and
Bill.
he is quite right. You have got to be punished. I'm sentencing you to 6 months on Mapatiti.
Oh.
Hard labor.
Oh.
All right. Now, how about a bottle of beer with me before you go? You look as though you need it.
It's the truth, I do. You're a pal, Mr. Grutter.
Ginger Ted took his sentence with good grace. 1, he knew he had overstepped the bounds, and 2, there were several rather delightful native girls on the island of Maputiti that he had not seen for several months. He bore the controller no malice for his punishment, and he was sent to pay his debt. The 6 months had passed but for a few days when chance stepped in. The head man of Maputiti was stricken with a sudden illness. Messengers were sent to Baru, 50 miles across the sea, and help was begged of the missionary, the Reverend Mr. Jones, but Mr. Jones was at that moment enduring an attack of malaria. He was in bed and talked the matter over with his sister.
It sounds as though the head man had acute appendicitis.
You can't go, Owen. You can't.
Well, I can't let the man die.
But you couldn't operate in the state you're in.
No, I suppose not, but
I'll do it.
You can't remove an appendix.
Why not? I've seen you do it. Done lots of minor operations.
I can't allow it. It's too dangerous. They wouldn't understand. A woman, no.
I'm going, and that's all there is to it.
And so Miss Jones went by launch to Mapotiti. She performed the operation on the headman under the greatest difficulties, and it is to her everlasting credit that she saved his life. And when she saw that he was well on the mend, she packed up the medicine chest and was taken down to the wharf where she embarked on the launch to take her back to Baru. On the out journey, she had been the only passenger, but now there was another, Ginger Ted. He had paid his debt to society and was returning for another chance. The crew consisted of the head boatman and a mechanic, both naked. They were about 30 miles out in the open sea when Ginger Ted took the stopper out of a bottle of arrack and took a long pull.
Oh, chum. How's about the swig?
Thank you, Ginger.
Boatman, I do not wish you to drink anything while we're on the journey. Do you understand?
Yes. Oh, yes. A little arrack can do no one any harm. Thank you.
If you drink again, I shall complain to the controller.
Miss Jones knew they were being extremely rude at her expense, and she closed her thin lips even more tightly. Her long, bony face became grim. They went due east, and the sun set radiantly behind one of the small islands. The sea was like glass, and Miss Jones suddenly felt her heart filled with gratitude for the beauty of the world. It was then that there was a lurch, and the launch began to vibrate, and the engine rattled.
Oi, what's up?
Propeller, Ginger. We split free.
Do we make it back to Baru tonight?
Better we not. Better we stop at island and fix.
Right. Oi, miss. You're going to have to put over at the little island over there. Put out a new propeller in the morning when the tide's out.
That's impossible. I can't spend the night on an uninhabited island with 3 men.
A lot of women would jump at it.
How dare you speak to me like that? I think you're very insolent. If you don't go on to Baru, I'll have you all put in prison.
Now, look here. We're not going to Baru. We can't. The engine breaks down all the way. Who knows where we'll drift to? Now, if you don't like it, you can get out and swim.
Oh, you'll pay for this.
Oh, shut up, you old cow.
From then on, Ginger Ted was occupied with the rather tricky job of beaching the launch. Miss Jones sat quivering with indignation, and then, as the full meaning of what lay before her dawned, her anger turned to fear.
I see it all now. I see it all. There's nothing at all the matter with the propeller. He wants to get me ashore, where he has me at his will, to do his work. Oh, I know his captain. Despicable, horrid, and there can be no help from the natives. He bribed them to help. But I must have courage. I shall sell my virtue dearly, dearly. And if he kills me, then I should rather die than...
And in her fear, she removed a scalpel from the surgical instrument she had selectly used to save her life and hid it in her clothing. Then they were ashore, and the night came. Ginger Ted did his best.
Oi, miss. Come on over to the fire. We've got some lovely grub here. A nip of arrack won't hurt you neither.
I want nothing. I want to be left alone.
Oh, you can go to the devil then. Go hungry. Don't mean nothing to me. How'd you like this? It's quite a bit nice and hot air.
She walked away with head erect, the scalpel held tightly in her fist, and though she was looking for a place to hide, a place of safety, her instinct told her it was better to keep that bad man in sight. And then, if he came toward her, she would be prepared. The moonlight would show him to her. Presently, she found a little hollow and sank down into it, where in the distance she saw the warm glow of the fire and the huddled, dreadful shapes of men around it.
He's plotting it now. He's making them drink. And instead of sleep soundly. I'm afraid. so afraid. Oh. But if that horrible, loathsome man makes a step, come here, I'll kill him. I'll kill him.
We will return to Escape in just a moment, but first, in time of accident or emergency, it helps to be in good financial condition. That's why it pays to invest in United States savings bonds. When you need money, the new 3% United States savings bond is better than ever. And now, back to Escape.
It should be mentioned again that Miss Jones was a woman hard on 40. She had an odd, drooping gracefulness and was extremely flat and thin. Her features were much like her brother's, the Reverend Owen Jones, and she suffered a good deal from indigestion. But at that moment, her suffering bore a pain which was far more exquisite.
What shall I do? What have I done to deserve this?
And she prayed and trembled as terrible phantoms crossed her mind, and the time passed. She saw the fire at the beach die down, and now was the time that Ginger Ted might be expected to turn on the woman who was at his mercy. He smothered a cry, for suddenly he got up and walked in her direction. She clenched the scalpel more tightly. She couldn't understand it. Why? And then when she saw him go back to the fire and knew that for the moment at least he was spared, her nerve gave way. After that, she felt a little better and decided to close her eyes for a moment. The strain of watching had tired them, and when she opened them again, it was morning. And with a sudden shock of fear, she found that she was covered with 2 copra sacks. He must have done it. He had her at his mercy, and yet...
Good morning. I was just going to wake you up. There's bananas for breakfast, and you can eat them on the boat, because we fixed it. Come on, here's a hand.
Oh, thank you. Mr.
What?
Nothing.
I have missed you, Ginger. Here's luck.
Same to you, Mr. Grutter.
Yes. You don't bear me any malice for the sentence I gave you, I hope?
No bloody fear. I didn't have a bad time, you know. Nice lot of girls on that Putiti. You want to give me a look over one of these days?
You are a bad lot, Ginger. Oh, and by the way, I've been saving a remittance from England while you are away. I took out for the damage you did, and still there's a little over 30 pounds left. That's a lot of money out here. You really ought to do something useful with it.
I'm going to. Spend it.
Mein Herr, Tuan Jones wishes to speak with you. Very important, he says. Mr. Grutter, I shan't detain you long. I heard that... Oh, there you are, Ginger. I've been trying to find this good man all day, Mr. Grutter, and I heard he was here.
How is Miss Jones? None the worse for her night in the open, I trust?
No, not at all. I want to thank you.
Oh, me?
You did a great and noble thing.
Me?
My sister is right. One should always look for the good in their fellow man. I have misjudged you in the past. I beg your pardon.
What in the blazes are you talking about?
You had my sister at your mercy, and you spared her. She was defenseless in your power, and you had pity on her. I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Neither my sister nor I will ever forget. I thank you.
What in bloody blue blazes does he mean? Oi, Grutter. What's so funny? on. If you don't stop laughing, I'll break your bloody head open.
Well, he's Ginger, he's thanking you for having respected the virtue of Miss Jones.
What? Me? Me? That old cow? What does he take me for?
Well, you have a reputation of being rather hot stuff with the girls, Ginger.
Why, I wouldn't touch her with the fag end of a 10-foot barge pole. Never entered my head. The ruddy nerve. I'll ring his blasted neck. Look here. Give me my money. I'm going to get drunk.
I don't blame you.
That old cow. That old cow.
Here you are. Go and get drunk, Ginger Ted, but I warn you, if you get into mischief, it'll be 12 months next.
I shan't get in mischief, don't worry. But it's an insult, that's what it is. A bloody insult. Dirty swine. What does it take me for? Dirty swine.
Ginger Ted got drunk, and he stayed drunk for a week. His pride had been hurt. And to make matters worse, the Reverend Mr. Jones and his sister decided it was their duty to save him and do something for him. They appealed to Mr. Gooter, who said,
Well, if I were you, Mr. Jones, I wouldn't try to save him until he's got through his money. Then, if he is not in jail, you can do what you like.
But Ginger Ted didn't want to be saved. He spent his money and then sulked, waiting for the next remittance from London. Miss Jones was unrelenting. She invited him to dinner and spoke to Mr. Gooter about it.
Oh, Mr. Gooter, my brother is very anxious that we should have the man they call Ginger Ted to supper with us. And I've written him a little note inviting him for the day after tomorrow. I think he's rather shy. I wonder if you'd come with him.
Well, that is very kind of you.
My brother feels that we ought to do something for him.
A woman's influence and all that sort of thing.
Will you persuade him to come?
Well, I do my best, Miss Jones.
Tell me, Mr. Gooter, how old is he?
According to his passport, 37.
And what is his real name? Surely not Ginger Ted.
Edward Wilson.
Edward Wilson?
Yes.
Edward Wilson.
The controller actually persuaded Ginger Ted to join him. This on the promise of several drinks at his own house before they went to dine. But on the night of the party, Mr. Gooter had to go alone. Ginger Ted was dead drunk outside the Chinese wine and grocery shop and not fit for anything.
I am very sorry, Miss Jones.
I'm afraid it's no good, Martha. The man's hopeless.
No, never, Owen. No one is hopeless. Everyone has some good in him. I shall pray for him every night. I shall pray that he sees the light.
Perhaps Miss Jones was right in this, but the divine providence took a very funny way of effecting its ends. It came in the form of a cholera epidemic on Baru and several other of the neighboring islands, and the natives were in a panic. It was more than the Reverend Mr. Jones could handle, and it was going to need more doctors, and this would take time. Mr. Gooter held a conference with Mr. Jones and his sister.
We are ready to put ourselves at your disposal, Mr. Gooter. I need not tell you that my sister is as competent as any man.
I should be very glad of her assistance. But I am afraid it does not work for a woman. She would have to go to some of the outlying islands. We cannot possibly spare you, Mr. Jones.
Then, of course, I shall go.
Oh, but it might be dangerous. Some of the natives are still treacherous. You would have too much trouble with them.
I'm not afraid.
I dare say, but if you get your throat cut, I shall get into trouble. Besides, we are so short-handed here on Baru, I do not want to risk losing your health.
Then let Mr. Wilson come with me. He knows the natives and speaks their dialect.
Ginger Ted? Oh, no, he is just getting over an attack of the DTs. He has been drunk for weeks. That's out of the question.
I wonder if it would be wise, after all.
I trust him, Owen. I shall always trust him.
Oh, there was a great deal more discussion, but in the end, Ginger Ted was sent for. He looked ill. He was in rags and hadn't shaved for weeks. No one could have looked more disreputable.
Look here, Ginger. It is about this cholera business. We've got to force the natives to take precautions, and we want you to help us.
Why the devil should I?
Well,
it was my suggestion, Mr. Wilson. You see, I was afraid to go alone. I thought if you came, I should be safer.
Well, what do you suppose I care if they cut your nutty throat? It don't mean a thing to me.
There's no reason you should care, I suppose. It's all right. I'll go alone.
There's a lot of bloody foolishness for a woman to go out there alone.
I dare say, but it's my job. And I can't help myself. I'm sorry if I offended by asking you. It wasn't really fair to ask you to share such a risk, was it?
All right. Have it your own way. I'll come with you. When do you want to start?
They started the next day with drugs and disinfectants in the government launch. For 4 months the epidemic raged, and then one day it was over. Mr. Gruter had seen nothing of Ginger Ted or Miss Jones, but he had heard from Mr. Jones that they had performed a Herculean task in the outer islands. Mr. Gruter was thinking of Ginger Ted over a bottle of beer one evening when the man came in. He was wearing a clean suit of white ducks. He was shaved. He looked another man.
Why, Ginger, what on earth has happened? By heaven, I'm glad to see you. You look wonderful. Here, have some beer. Man, I have missed you. Here, let me pour it.
I don't think I'll have any, thank you.
What?
I don't mind having a cup of tea, though.
A cup of what?
I'm on the wagon. Martha and I want to be married.
Ginger, you can't marry Miss Jones. No one could marry Miss Jones.
Well, I'm going to. That's what I've come to see you about. First thing, soon as I get off the launch. We want to be married by Dutch law as well as chapel.
Oh, come now, a joke is a joke, Ginger.
She wanted it. She fell for me that night we spent on the island when the propeller broke.
Ginger, she'll make you into a missionary.
Well, I don't know as I'd mind if we did have a little mission of our own. She says I'm a bloody marvel with the natives. Says I can do more in 5 minutes with him than Owen can in a year.
I guess she had an eye on you. But this... listen to me, Ginger. We have had some grand times together, and a friend is a friend. I tell you what I do. I lend you the launch, and you can go away from...
Mr. Gruter. I know you mean well. But I'm going to marry the blasted woman, and that's that.
Something about it, Mr. Jones. This is madness.
My sister is of full age and entitled to do as she pleases.
But you don't mean to tell me you approve of it. You know Ginger Ted. Ginger Ted, Mr. Jones. Have you told her the risk she is running? Does the leopard ever change his spot?
My sister is a very determined woman, Mr. Gruter. From that night they spent on the island together, he never had a chance.
Mr. Gruter was beaten, and he knew it. Then the next day, sportingly, he went to pay his compliments to Miss Jones, who was preparing for her wedding.
How nice of you to come, Mr. Gruter. I've been wanting to tell you how splendid Edward was through this terrible time. He's a hero. He's a saint. Even I was surprised.
I hope you will be very happy, Miss Jones.
Oh, I know I shall. And you'll never guess where we're going for our honeymoon.
Java?
No. If you'll lend us the launch, we shall go to that island where we were marooned. It has very tender recollections for both of us. It was there that I guessed how fine and good Edward was. It is there that I shall let Edward begin his new life.
Mr. Gruter caught his breath. He left quickly, for he thought that unless he had a bottle of beer at once, he would have a fit. He was never so shocked in his life.
Escape has brought you Somerset Maugham's The Vessel of Wrath. Direction and adaptation of the story were by Anthony Ellis. In order of their appearance, you have heard Ben Wright as the narrator, Parley Bear as Mr. Gruter, Eric Snowden as Mr. Jones, Alan Reed as Ginger Ted, Jeanette Nolan as Miss Jones, and Dave Young as the head boatman. The special music for Escape is composed and conducted by Leith Stevens. Next week.
You are on a planet of desolation and utter ruin, awaiting the return of your comrades to carry you to safety. While about you, the crawling and evil remains of life are slowly hemming you in and ruthlessly tracking you down to your death.
So listen next week when Escape brings you Charlie Smith's unusual story, North of Polaris. Tomorrow night on CBS Radio, here concluded Suspense's production of Shakespeare's tragic drama, Othello. Richard Widmark plays Iago, Elliot Lewis, Othello, and Kathy Lewis, Desdemona. Also tomorrow night, don't miss the Lux Radio Theater's charming excursion into fantasy, The Bishop's Wife, starring Cary Grant and Phyllis Thaxter. Othello concluded on Suspense, and The Bishop's Wife on Lux Radio Theater tomorrow night on most of these same CBS radio stations. This is Roy Rowan speaking. And remember, America buys 30,000 new radio sets a day and listens most to the CBS Radio Network.
Of the everyday grind? Ever dream of a life of romantic adventure? Want to get away from it all? We offer you Escape.
Escape, designed to free you from the four walls of today for a half hour of high adventure.
Planet of desolation and utter ruin, awaiting the return of your comrades to carry you to safety, while the remains of life about you, crawling and evil, are slowly hemming you in and ruthlessly tracking you down to your death.
Listen now as Escape brings you Charles Smith's unusual story, North of Polaris.
Testing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do you read me, Joe?
Loud and clear. R5, S5. All ready, sir.
How is he?
Well,
how do you feel, Mac?
Scared, sir?
Now take your time out there. Be very sure.
Quiet.
Can you see him?
Not yet, sir. Yes, sir, there he is.
Mac, what's it like out there?
Nothing much to see.
Do you feel heavier or lighter than usual? Can you move about easily?
Just like at home.
What about atmosphere?
I'm turning off my oxygen unit and opening the intake valve.
Careful. Not too fast now.
I've cut my supply completely, sir.
Rescue party standing by, sir.
It seems to be okay. Yes, sir, the air is good.
Are you sure?
It's okay. Send them out.
From the foot of the spaceship, we could see him calmly walking about on the surface of a planet approximately 20 million miles from our own. All 40 of us had drawn straws. Mac had won. And if we returned home safely, he would be remembered as the first man to touch the soil of an alien planet.
Well, Joe?
I guess I'm as ready as I'll ever be, sir.
Who else are you taking with you?
Stoner. He's good with the camera. Sam, have you got your gear ready?
Yo, all set for the thing.
All right.
Now, you know what to do. What I want.
Yes, sir.
Map the area as best you can. Bring me a report on water sources, mineral deposits, vegetation. And if you see any signs of life, try to get pictures. But otherwise, avoid it. You tell the others that's an order.
Yes, sir. Do you think there is life here, sir?
Well, some of our best minds have always claimed there was.
Well, when we get back, we'll set them straight, sir.
Yeah. I'll make our other drops and pick you up at this spot in 48 hours. So you're on your own. Good luck, Joe.
Thank you, sir.
Joe, do you notice anything wrong with this place?
What do you mean, Mac?
Well, look around. You see any trees, bushes, grass, anything growing? See anything green?
Yeah, that's right. Well, it's probably desert country.
No, look here. Here, feel the soil.
What?
It's rich enough. Gets plenty of sun, probably plenty of rain. Look at its color. Gray, dead.
Maybe it's like the moon. Maybe this is just another moon.
No, there's air here. There isn't any on the moon.
How you know? You ever been there?
Well, that's what they say, Sam.
Sometimes they're wrong. Well, what now?
Well, we got about 5 hours of daylight left. We'll head north.
I don't like it. It's too quiet. Not even the wind.
What are you trying to do, Mac? Don't you think we're jumpy enough?
How long are they going to leave us here?
48 hours.
That could be a long time.
We started north. It was easy walking over the flat, rolling land, easy because there were no trees or bushes or weeds. There was nothing. Nothing but the gray sky and the gray, dead soil. I was beginning to think that maybe it was only a moon. And then we made camp for the night.
Okay, come and get it.
Well, look here. Beans and K-rations. Just what I wanted.
Oh.
Now, watch your hands, they're hot.
Now you tell me.
You know the first thing I'm going to do when I get home?
Oh, what?
I'm going in the best restaurant in town and order the biggest steak in a joint.
You're pretty sure you're going to get home, aren't you?
Sure, I'm sure.
Why, aren't you, Mac?
I don't know. Hey, want some coffee, Joe?
Yeah, thanks. You married, Mac?
Uh-huh.
Any kids?
Yeah, one, a little girl. She's 5.
What made you volunteer for this trip?
I don't know. Maybe I just had to. You understand that?
Yeah, I think so.
Hey, you know what I miss? The crickets. You know, at home you sit around a campfire, like at the lake. You hear the frogs and the crickets.
And slap the mosquitoes.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Oh, what's that?
Well, here we are, 20 million miles away from our home. 20 million miles. And yet up there in the sky, we can still see it.
Yeah, I wonder if anybody's looking at this stinking planet and wondering if we made it.
Oh, sure they are. All the scientists, astronomers.
I don't mean them. I mean...
I know what you mean.
You got a family, Sam?
Only my mother. She lives...
Hmm?
What is it? Something's out there. Moving.
It was life. There was life here. And we can see it now, in the dim light given off by our heating unit. It was an ugly, four-legged beast with a hairless body. And from its odor, a scavenger. Like everything else here, it was the color of gray. Oh, that's real smart. You're supposed to be a photographer. Take pictures of what we find.
Oh, lay off him, Joe. It was only a rat, a big rat.
The day broke clean and bright, and we kept walking north doing the job we'd set out to do. And there were no other signs of life, and we'd almost convinced ourselves that the rat had been a stowaway from our ship. For the first time, things felt right.
Hey, Joe.
What?
Hold it.
Stop wasting that film.
What's the matter? Don't you want your picture in the magazine? I've shot everything there is to shoot here. It's all going to look the same. Nothing.
Yeah, I know.
When we turn back?
Tomorrow morning. There. Now, let's take a look around.
What's the use? There's nothing to see. Hey, why don't we start back now? Joe? Joe.
Mac, come up here.
What is it?
On the double. Take a look through these binoculars, Sam. Off to the east there. What do you see?
A lake. Yeah, maybe an ocean.
Now swing around slowly to your left. No, easy. There. What do you make of that?
I don't know.
Well, what's up? Looks like clumps of stone or cement. Take a look. Give him the glasses, Sam.
Hey, could that be what's left of the city?
If it is. If we've found...
Yes!
Sam, you fool! Come back here! But he wasn't coming back. Not now. He'd found the subject for his camera, and he was racing toward it. At the edge of the sprawling stone ruins, we caught up. And he made us turn with our backs to the city and pointed his camera at us.
Welcome to the city. Hold it, both of you, right there.
I should have shaved.
Hey, Mac, pick up a piece of that stone.
Like this?
Okay. Come on, what are you waiting for?
Hold it. Mac, put that stone down.
Hey, you think...
Just put it down.
What's the matter with you guys?
Geiger counter's acting up.
Are you kidding? What could be radioactive around here?
Mac, lower it near the ground.
Well, what do you know?
Radioactive. What is it, uranium, pitch black, what?
No. This isn't a natural composition.
Yeah, then what?
Look around you. Take a good look. What's it look like?
Just stone, cement, ruins. What else?
Look at the color of it. The edges.
Yeah. Like it's been burnt. Scorched. Remember what our cities look like?
They wouldn't know about atomic energy here.
What makes you so sure? I led them on into the sprawling corpse of the great metropolis until we stood near the jagged base of what once must have been a magnificent building.
Mac?
Huh?
Over there.
What?
Look. Rat.
Yeah. Scrounging for food.
Sure did.
With each step we'd taken, the radiation had increased. And when it reached the danger point, we turned and started slowly back. We didn't say anything. We didn't need to. We had seen and we knew that this world, this civilization, had committed suicide.
It's getting late. We'd better make camp.
Well, this is as good a place as any, I guess.
I don't know about you guys, but I'm pooped.
Yeah, it's been a long day. You want to set up the stove, Mac?
Yeah, might as well.
The sky's clouding up in the south. Looks like a storm brewing.
Your film safe, Sam? You think the radiation back there damaged it?
No, it's packed in heavy lead foil.
Yeah.
Cigarette, Joe?
Yeah, I think so.
That's funny.
No, what's that?
Take a look out there. No, stop on me. It's not the sky that's clouding up. It looks like dust. A dust storm.
It couldn't be. There's no wind.
Take a look.
Yeah, but there's no wind.
Well, something's out there kicking up the dust. How far away you figure?
It's hard to tell. 10, maybe 15 miles.
Joe, look!
What?
There, to the right about a mile. You see him?
See what?
No, over to your left.
Well, what is it? People?
You're crazy. There's nothing out there.
Two of them. They fell. I can't see them now either, but I did see them. There, now they're up again.
Joey's right. The people like us.
Hey! Oh, hey!
All right, stop it.
Stop it!
Let's go. Look, we've got orders to avoid contact with life here.
But, Joe, they're people, human beings.
You don't know what they are. Just because they resemble us physically, that doesn't mean a thing.
But, Joe,
we got our orders. The ground's higher over there. Let's move over there where we can see them better. Come on. When we made it to the rise, we could see a man and a woman. Two people just like ourselves. Even what was left of their clothing was similar to ours. And they were running desperately. And then I looked beyond them and saw the cause of their fear. Stalking them, slowly closing the distance between them, were 6 of those great, evil rats. We stood there silently, watching the hunters and the hunted. And the longer we watched, the more it became certain that the rats could end the hunt whenever they wanted to. I could see their features now. The woman was much younger than the man. Their faces were distorted by panic and fear. And we watched and waited. And then the old man fell, and Sam and Mac were running, screaming, driving off the rat. Are you all right? Can you understand me?
Yes. Where's my father? I must go back to him.
The boys are with him. You speak our language.
Yes. But we were sure there wasn't anyone else in this sector. We thought they'd all gone.
Gone where?
South. They left us behind. They said he was too old, not worth the trouble.
How many of you lived here?
11 of us.
Only 11?
Father and I started out yesterday morning. We thought we could meet them later. And then the rats... Where are you from?
Outside.
Then there is something left outside.
Oh, yes.
Oh, I was sure. I'd hoped. I knew it couldn't end here.
Come on, we'd better get you back to camp now. Gave them a sedative. She'll be all right, but I'm worried about the old man.
Hey, Joe?
Yeah?
We've been talking. How can they know our language? How?
Yeah. I don't know.
You know, it's like our world, isn't it? After the atomic war, I mean.
Yeah. I remember reading how the radioactive dust spread all over the land, killing everything. Grass, trees, animals, everything. Well, I guess the same thing happened here.
You off your rocket, Joe? We're 20 million miles apart. And our war was over 50 years ago.
Look, don't you think it's possible that life on another planet could have started, advanced, and progressed step by step with ours?
Oh, Joe, now you're talking like something out of one of those science fiction magazines.
Well, what's the matter? Can't your ego accept it? Do we have to be the greatest, the super beings? Everything else in the universe is subhuman?
Oh, wait a minute, Joe.
Knock it off. Look at the sack.
Okay. It might be a good idea if one of us stood watch while the other two slept. How about it?
Sure.
Well, I'll take the first lap, and then you, Sam, and then Mac. Each of us will do 3 hours, huh? I'll try to get some sleep. The 3 hours passed quickly. My mind was racing, asking if this world was a parallel to our own world. Were all the worlds of the universe alike? I was trying to find the answer when Sam relieved me, and I still hadn't found it when I dropped off to sleep. But I didn't sleep very long.
Sam! Oh, good Lord, the blast. He must have dozed off. Come on! Oh. Look. Oh, my.
We buried Sam just as the sun rose full above the horizon. And then as we turned to walk back to camp, we saw it. The sky to the south was black with dust. It was closer now, much closer than the day before. And whatever it was out there was moving straight for us.
What do you make of it, Joe?
I don't know. Oh, Jean.
Yes?
Does your father feel well enough to travel?
Oh, he's much better. He wants to talk to you.
All right.
Joe, how far away from our rendezvous point?
Oh, about 12 miles.
Have you noticed the dust to the south?
Yes. I was hoping that you could tell us what it was, sir.
It is the army.
The what?
The army. The great army of the rats. The others, those you saw yesterday and this morning, they were the scouts. Out there is the main force.
Why only rats? Why no other animals?
When the war started, the rats were already immune to radiation. They thrived on it when all other life perished.
But why?
We did it. We made them immune. We used them in our early atomic experiments, generation after generation. And generation by generation, their resistance increased until a rat was born who was immune to radiation.
What are we waiting for? Let's get out of here.
Yes, we must run. For now they are the masters, the rulers, and we are the scavengers.
Wait, my father.
Well, if he can't keep up,
Hold it. All right, hold up.
Oh, there's no use going on. Look there ahead of us.
Yeah, dust. More of them.
Behind us. Into the north.
Yeah, they've cut us off.
Now they close in for the kill. I told you it was an efficient army. Their strategy is well planned. They've a good general. As good a man as myself.
Father, please try to...
Oh, now, these young men need me, Jean. We're outnumbered. We need time to muster our forces. Perhaps we could make a truce with the rats.
Talk sense, will you?
Gentlemen, be reasonable. We have no other choice. You see how easily they outmaneuvered us? A truce is our only hope.
Make him shut up!
Joe, he's crazy. He talks crazy. Don't let it get you.
How much time we got left before they pick us up?
7 hours.
We'll never make it.
Jean.
Yes?
Do you know this sector?
Oh, yes.
Well, come with me, please. Mac, keep an eye on the old man. I didn't know what I was looking for or what I expected to find, but I had to do something. Even walking aimlessly over the scorched stone rubble was better than standing, waiting for the circle of rats to close in. And then Jean found it, an entrance to an underground bomb shelter, one just large enough to hold the average family. We raced back to where we'd left the others, and now we could hear the rats, thousands of them all around us.
Joe, I tried to stop him. He wouldn't listen to us like crazy.
What do you think?
I couldn't help it. Believe me, I couldn't help it.
He was about 200 yards away.
his shoulders back, his head held high, walking directly toward the rat. And in his right hand he was holding a small white handkerchief, waving it back and forth like a flag of truce. He kept on until they formed a semicircle around it. And then he stopped. And all around us, the rat stopped. For a moment, I swear, he spoke to them. And then he turned toward us, raised his hand in salute. And then the rat swarmed all over him. Come on! No, come on, Gene. You can't help me. Come on! We burrowed ourselves in the shelter. In a few moments, we could hear them overhead, hurtling themselves against the heavy, lead-lined door, their yellow teeth digging at the concrete and steel. But it had been built to stand an atomic blast. It held off the rats. And we waited. For one thing, how long could we stay alive in that coffin? We didn't speak. We just sat there, wondering when they'd break through. So, yeah. Let's go. No. No, they'll give up. They're starving. They'll leave to find some other food. Joe. The rats. They're quitting. They're leaving. Maybe they are. Maybe they just want us to think they are. No, they're leaving. I'm going to take a look. Mac, don't open that door.
Joe,
Now listen.
Listen, it's a ship. Clark and the ship. Come on, Joe. Let's get out of here. Open, they can see us. Hey! Hey! Down here! Hey!
Well, Gene, we can go out now. They've gone.
What?
It's all over. We're safe now. We can go out.
Out? Out? Oh, I can't believe it.
We're going to take you back with us. Away from this. Now, come on.
Oh, no, please. Please, I'm afraid.
Afraid?
Don't you hear it? That noise?
But that's our ship. Here, I'll show you. Look, you see the landing.
Ship? I don't understand.
But the one that brought us here.
Brought you here?
Yes.
Where did it come from? Europe? Asia? Where?
Europe? Asia?
Oh, I knew we hadn't destroyed all of the Earth.
Earth? Is that what you call this planet? Earth?
This is the Earth. You. Where are you from?
What? Way up there. Just north of Polaris.
Under the direction of Anthony Ellis, Escape has brought you North of Polaris by Charles Smith, starring William Conrad as Joe, with Hy Averback as Mac, and Eddie Firestone as Sam. Featured in the cast were Vivi Janis, Ralph Moody, and Frank Gerstle. The special music for Escape is composed and conducted by Leith Stevens.
Wheat checks, rice checks, and good hot Ralston present Space Patrol! High adventure in the wild, vast reaches of space. Missions of daring in the name of interplanetary justice. travel into the future with Buzz Corey, Commander-in-Chief of the Space Patrol. In today's transcribed adventure, Buzz and Happy are at the Saturn City spaceport, following a man they believe to be a cousin of Prince Baccarati.
It's Vincent, all right, sir. In the back, he looks just like Baccarati.
All right, Hap. Let's close in. Just a minute, Benson.
Yes?
I thought you promised to stay on Saturn.
Oh, did I, Corey? Commander, it's Prince Baccarati.
Get him, Hap.
All right, Malengo, use your ray gun. That does it, Malengo. Get them aboard the ship. We'll give them a one-way trip to Planet X.
We'll return in just a moment with today's exciting Space Patrol adventure, The Spies from Planet X. Say, gang, have you met the twin space patrollers who've just moved in down the block a ways? A couple of real swell fellas and supercharged all the way. Well, now's your chance to meet them. Here they are.
Hi, Captain Tuesday. I'm Space Patroller Tommy Smith. And I'm Space Patroller Danny Smith.
Man, oh man, am I seeing double? You look alike and you talk alike.
And we eat alike. We had our bite-sized checks today. How about you?
Did I have my bite-sized checks today? Did I have a big bowl full of rice checks or wheat checks? The best-tasting cereals from here to the outer orbit of Pluto? Well, you bet I did. I'm supercharged just like both of you. Now, Space Patroller, did you power up with that bite-sized Chex nourishment this morning? You know, no other cereal, flaked or puffed, contains so much nourishment in such concentrated bite-sized form. That's why rice Chex and wheat Chex are official cereals of every space patroller in the universe. So, gang, take a tip from these supercharged twins. And every day before you blast off for school or play, have yourself a power breakfast with
bite-sized rice Chex. Bite-sized wheat Chex.
And now, today's Space Patrol adventure, The Spies from Planet X. In recent weeks, Buzz has successfully thwarted attempts by Prince Baccarati to sabotage United Planet's defenses. Space Patrol intelligence has been convinced that Prince Baccarati, former ruler of Neptune, was holed up in his fabulous castle on the remote Planet X, recouping his strength. But a Space Patrol agent has reportedly seen Baccarati in Saturn City. In response to this report, Commander Corey and Cadet Happy are speeding toward the planet Saturn.
Commander, if that really is Baccarati, he sure got a lot of nerve.
All we know is that this man reported to be Baccarati has been dealing with the Zakra Importing Company of Saturn City.
Zakra Importing?
It's a small outfit, practically a one-man operation. It's run by Emil Zakra. Seems to specialize in knickknacks and curios from the different planets.
Well, do you think knickknacks would make Baccarati come all the way from Planet X and risk getting caught?
I can tell you more about that, Happy, when we talk to Mr. Zakra.
A few hours later, Buzz and Happy walked down a small side street in Saturn City. Most of the shops are closed for the day, except one shabby little store in which a dim green light casts a weird glow over shelves of dusty vases, statues, and carvings. A replica of an outmoded spaceship hangs above the door. On it, in luminous letters, are the words, Zakra Importing Company.
Here we are, Happy.
I don't see anyone inside. Maybe they're closed.
Try the door.
It's open.
Somebody must be here. Let's go in.
Oh, look at the dust. I wouldn't say business was exactly booming.
Anybody here? Let's try the back room.
Uh-oh. Commander, look. The man on the floor behind the counter.
He's still breathing. He'll be all right. Somebody struck him with a blunt knife.
Is it Zakra?
I don't know. Somebody's coming to behind this curtain, see?
It's Baccarati.
Hold it, Baccarati.
Huh?
You came back to finish the job, I suppose.
Job? I don't know what you're talking about. His voice, sir. His voice is different.
But he looks like Baccarati. What's your name?
Baccarat.
Huh?
I'm surprised to hear that name after all these years. Most people know me as Vance and Thomas Vance.
Are you related to Prince Baccarati?
My cousin. An unfortunate family resemblance.
I see. Now take a look behind that counter and see if that man resembles anyone you know.
Hey, it's Doctor.
What's that?
We thought perhaps you could tell us.
Why should I?
What are you doing here, Mr. Benson?
I was to see Doctor on business.
Were you expecting your cousin?
No, I should say not.
All right, Benson. We're going to get Mr. Zucker to a doctor, and we'll have a little talk at Space Patrol headquarters. While Cadet Happy scans the files for information on Thomas Benson, Commander Corey at Saturn City headquarters questions the man who bears such a striking physical resemblance to the evil Prince Baccarati. And you know absolutely nothing of your cousin's whereabouts.
Nothing, Commander. We haven't had any contact since he was forced to leave Neptune. We were never very friendly, even with boys.
And your home is on Neptune. You're just visiting Saturn.
Yes, a business trip. He's been here about a week.
Check, Commander. Thanks, Happy. Well, that'll be all, Mr. Benson, for the time being. Oh, you plan to be in Saturn City for a while?
Yes. Yes, I do, Commander. I'm at the Alcor Hotel.
Good. I may want to talk to you some more.
Call me any time. Good night, Commander.
Good night.
Yeah. That isn't the craziest thing. That guy's a dead ringer for Baccarati, but he sounds different and acts different.
What did you find out, Happy?
He's Thomas Benson, engaged in the manufacturing business on Neptune. First cousin of Prince Baccarati.
Why?
Changed his name from Baccarati to Benson. And this will kill you, sir. At Prince Baccarati's request to save the family from embarrassment.
Oh?
Yeah, the prince didn't want to be disgraced by a cousin who worked.
Does Benson have any criminal record?
No, sir. Spends his spare time collecting little statuettes, Mercury jade, mostly.
Well, what about Zucker?
Well, he'll pull through all that, sir, but he's still in a coma. He hasn't got a record either.
I was hoping this cousin might be an important link in Prince Baccarati's spy ring. Somehow, Baccarati manages to get information to and from the United Planets and Planet X.
Yeah, and with the spacephone channels being monitored the way they are, and Planet X almost blocked.
There's a leak somewhere, Happy.
Well, it sure isn't Benson. Why, in a whole week, Benson's Space Patrol guard didn't see anyone get through to Benson that didn't have proper identification.
Space Patrol guard?
Yes, sir. Benson asked for special protection around his home in Neptune City a couple of weeks ago.
Why did he want special protection?
Well, he told the Neptune City chief he'd received an anonymous threat. Well, after a week, the chief figured it was just a prank and called the patrol off.
Why didn't you mention that before, Happy?
Well, chief, sir, I guess I figured it wasn't important. If Baccarati's cousin was spying for the prince, he wouldn't ask for Space Patrol protection, would he? Or would he?
Well, we're in Saturn City, Hap. I think we'll keep an eye on Thomas Benson. Meanwhile, far out in space, avoiding the regular space lanes, a space cruiser races toward Saturn. In it are Prince Baccarati and his scientific aide, Dr. Malengro.
Your disguise is excellent, Your Highness. If I hadn't helped you make up, I swear I'd never recognize you.
We'll pass the casual inspection. And since the Space Patrol has no reason to suspect that I'll be on Saturn, we'll have no trouble.
Suppose your cousin Thomas doesn't have the jewels with him on Saturn.
Of course he's got them. That's why he left Neptune and came to Saturn to hide the jewels. I know those threats would worry him, and when a man like my cousin is frightened, he doesn't trust his own judgment from one minute to the next.
In trying to find a safer place for the jewels, he practically brings them out into the open.
That's right. He thought it would be clever to conceal millions worth of jewels with a dealer in worthless junk like Dakra.
But evidently Zakra knew nothing of the gems. I'm sure your agent could have made him talk.
My men bungled there. You should have known my cousin wouldn't trust a small shopkeeper with that much treasure. What Thomas had in mind probably was to conceal the gems in various bric-a-brac without Zakra's knowledge. My agent should never have struck Zakra. At least, not until he was sure Thomas has completed his arrangements.
Yes, Excellency. Now your cousin will be frightened away.
We'll get the jewels all right, Melania. I've got to. I need them to pay off my agent. And to buy information, I need to keep ahead of Commander Corey.
Of course, Your Highness.
5 minutes out of Saturn City.
You've made excellent time from Planet X, Your Highness.
We won't have much to spare. Knowing Thomas the way I do, he's probably getting ready to leave Saturn to look for another place to hide his jewels.
Oh, yes, Happy?
I've just picked up some information about Thomas Benson. He's booked passage on the Space Queen for Neptune for the night.
He told me he was staying here on Saturn for a while. Well, let's get out to the spaceport and find out why Thomas Benson is suddenly anxious to return. At the Saturn City spaceport, Thomas Benson nervously paces back and forth in an almost deserted wing of a big terminal building, unaware that two men are watching his every move.
Attention, please. The Space Queen will blast off for Neptune in 20 minutes. Gate 9 is now open. Passengers are requested to board the ship immediately.
Just a moment, Thomas. What's your hurry?
Well, I don't believe I know you. If you don't mind, I've got to get aboard.
Don't you recognize your own cousin? You? That's right. Your royal relation, Prince Baccarat. Now, if you'll be good enough to hand over those jewels.
I haven't any jewels.
Now, come, Thomas. At my father's death, you received quite a fortune in precious gems, and I want them.
So they're mine. He willed them to me.
He willed them to Baccarati. You have renounced our noble name. You're no Baccarati. You're just plain Thomas Benson. Now I need those jewels to restore the name Baccarati to its former luster in the solar system.
You're
mad. All geniuses are considered mad by the ordinary. And the stupid. I can put those gems to good use, Thomas. Now hand them over.
You don't think I'd be carrying them with me?
Perhaps not. And you're anxious to get back to Neptune. Therefore the jewels are still there. Very well. I'll take you to Neptune in my ship.
Oh, you can't. You're wanted by the Space Patrol if they catch you.
They won't catch me. You didn't recognize me, my own cousin. And Commander Torrey walked within 20 feet of me while he was following you.
Torrey? Here at the terminal?
Yes.
Good. You can't possibly take me away with Torrey here.
Oh, and he knows who you are. He doesn't think you're Prince Baccarat.
He knows who I am. And if you try to force me...
I have an idea. Get into this vacant room over there. We'll change clothes. And I'll remove this disguise. Hurry up. Or will I have to use it?
Attention, please. Gate 9 will close in 1 minute. Passengers bound for Neptune on the Space Queen must board the ship immediately.
What happened to Benson, sir? Is he told?
He may have. If he leaves the terminal, he'll be followed.
Commander, going through that other gate. Is that Benson?
Right. That gate leads to the private cruiser blast-off line.
That Benson's pulling a fast one, huh?
Come on, Hap, let's follow him.
He's heading to the big private cruiser.
Keep in the shadow of this freight loading platform, Hap. All right, come on, let's close in. Just a minute, Benson.
Yes?
I thought you promised to stay on Saturn. Step over here into the light.
Anything to oblige, Corey?
Commander, it's Prince Baccarati.
Get him, Hap.
All right, Malengo, use your ray gun. Needs to be done, Malengo. Now, help me get Corey and the cadet aboard my ship. After we get the jewels, we'll give the commander a one-way trip to Planet X.
We'll return to Space Patrol in just a moment.
That was an F-86 Sabre jet fighter in actual combat in Korea. I'm George Welch, Chief Test Pilot of the Sabre jet at North American Aviation in Los Angeles. The Sabre is 37 feet long, weight 8 tons. The wings are swept back at a 35-degree angle, and their span is 37 feet. Top speed of the Sabre jet is more than 650 miles an hour. I was lucky enough to make the first flight in the F-86 Sabre jet. The first time up for the 50th, every flight is important. That's why I have to keep in top shape. I like to eat good food with lots of energy in it. Rice Chex and Wheat Chex meet that test, and they taste exactly right. I think you'll like them, too.
No other cereal, puffed or flaked, contains so much nourishment in such concentrated bite-sized form. Rice Chex, Wheat Chex.
And now back to the Spies from Planet X. Prince Baccarati donned a disguise and came to Saturn to steal a fortune in precious gems from his cousin Thomas Benson, who closely resembles the evil prince. Thinking they were following Benson, Buzz and Hattie were overpowered by Baccarati and Dr. Malengro, and now are captives in the prince's private cruiser heading toward Neptune.
In the compartment with them is their fellow prisoner, Thomas Benson.
I'm telling you the truth, Commander. I was only going back to Neptune to protect my chief.
Why didn't you tell me that before?
I realized I should have told you everything, but I didn't want to bring my cousin's name into it. You see, I managed to live down the fact that I'm a baccarat. I wanted to avoid unpleasant publicity.
Someone's outside the door.
I could only work my hands free.
Take it easy, Hal.
Gentlemen, are you enjoying the trip?
Well, Baccarati, going to a masquerade?
I resumed my disguise. You see, we'll be landing on Neptune in a few minutes. And after my cousin gives me the jewels from his vault, I shall remove my disguise and return to my ship as Cousin Thomas.
You're going to leave me in Neptune City, then?
Yes. When I have the jewels, you'll be of no further use to me, cousin.
Why do you need the jewels, Baccarati? I understood you were rich.
Yes, but it costs quite a bit to maintain my spy system on the United Planets, Commander. And you must admit, it's quite effective.
It has been so far, Baccarati. Frankly, I don't see how you do it. I mean, maintain contact between Planet X and your agent.
I might as well tell you, Corey, since there is nothing you can do about it. I have a robot receiving station on Saturn's 8th moon.
Funny we haven't picked up any messages from it.
Not at all. You see, there are no transmitters at the station, merely receivers.
But what good does it do for a robot just to receive messages?
They're recorded on tape and automatically indexed electronically for the agent they're intended for.
And your spies visit moon number 8 in spaceships, get them information and instructions, and go back to work.
Exactly. An occasional innocent-looking prospecting ship visiting the deserted moon never arouses suspicion.
Very clever, Baccarati.
Thank you, Commander. Now, Cousin Thomas, I'll release you. We're about to land, Corey. You and the cadet will remain in the ship till I return. Dr. Malengo will see that you're come.
A few moments later, two men of almost identical size and build get out of a surface car in front of a handsome dwelling in Neptune City. They enter the building and proceed to a large room. Nervously, one of the men presses a button in the wall, and the panel slides silently.
You can feel, Thomas. Now open the safe.
I can't remember the combination.
I have a few tricks that will jog your memory.
Very sensitive electronic combination. Look, I'm so nervous. I don't think I can...
Just try it and quit stalling. Open it.
The jewels are in that viewing box.
Open it up. Not that I doubt your honesty, of course. Are you sure this is all of them?
Yes.
All right. I'll be running along now, Thomas. First, I'll take the precaution of using this ray gun on you. After all, I couldn't have you spreading an alarm till I'm safely on my way back to Planet X.
Removing his disguise, Prince Baccarati boldly returns to the Neptune City spaceport, boards his ship, and blasts off. Now, an hour later, with Dr. Malengo at the controls and the ship headed toward Planet X, the Prince taunts his prisoner, Commander Corey.
You see, Commander, everything is working fine. Here are the jewels.
What did you do with your cousin, Baccarati?
Oh, he'll be all right in a few hours. You know, for years I hated the idea that Thomas looked like me. It offended my sense of individuality. Now I'm glad of it. Oh, the approach warning. Something's wrong.
Space Patrol ship approaching at 2 o'clock, Your Highness. What are your orders?
Space Patrol ship? Confounded. Thomas couldn't have put an alarm in this quickly. Hurry, come out front with me. Get moving.
See it, Your Highness?
Of course I see it. That's why I brought Corey out here. We can use him to persuade the ship not to fire on us.
Excellent idea, Your Highness.
Wait. That's a robot scout ship.
That's right, Baccarati. It's sending out electronic information on your position and vector.
I'll fix that, Malengo. Use the proton gun.
At once, Excellency.
Hurry up. That's it before it can relay our vector. Stand right where you are, Corey.
I got it, Your Highness.
Lone True Fish. Good work, Malengo.
It certainly is. Now there won't be any doubt that the patrol ships will come after you.
What do you mean?
When that robot ship stops sending a space phone signal, a squadron will immediately come here to investigate.
Rango, change direction.
Where to, Your Highness?
Any place but toward planet X. I know. Head for Saturn moon number 8. I can hide out there till we learn it's safe to return to planet X. Come on, Corey, back to your compartment. Change vectors, sir. Where's he taking
He wants to hide out on moon number 8. A smart move, huh?
Yeah. What's that in here? It's the jewel box.
Mm-hmm. I managed to pick it up while Baccarati was excited over the space approach.
That's swell, sir, but what good are they going to do us?
I don't know. Except it'll worry Baccarati when he misses him. Can't stand out.
Yes, sir?
There's a locker under that seat. See if we can get it open.
Oh. Well, there's some weapons in here. Just some spacesuits and a few tools.
How many spacesuits, then?
3. And here's an combo port. Hey, we could cut our way out of the compartment and rush Baccarati and Malone.
Well, they're armed. If we failed, it would be our last chance.
With these spacesuits, maybe we could get out of the ship. I know, through the cargo loading tube.
Happy, get those suits out. I'll go to work on the door with the atomo torch. Take the spacephone out of the third suit.
There's no sign of the ship in the viewscope, Your Highness.
Good. And we've toned them up. If we can reach moon number 8, we'll be in the clear.
Commander Corey calling all space patrol units, the Neptune, Jupiter, Saturn sectors.
Listen, his horse.
How did he get a spacesuit?
I don't know. The locker. He got into the locker. Those extra spacesuits. Come on, we've got to stop him.
Commander Corey to all space patrol units. Vince Baccarati's heading for Saturn moon number 8 in a private cruiser. Be careful. The ship is armed with a proton gun.
They're gone. They're out of the compartment.
Your Highness, they must have left the ship, the cargo chute. They've escaped.
Wait. Back to the control compartment. Hurry.
I'm unable to give the registry number of Baccarati's ship, but it's a Class B cruiser. This vector is approximately 40 degrees sun-regulus orientation.
Confound it, Malengo. He'll have every ship in the universe after us.
Look out the starboard viewport. There they are.
I knew it. They're floating along with the ship.
Now, what is Captain Corey's call? Perhaps they haven't heard him yet.
They will, soon enough. The proton gun. That will fix him.
But, Your Highness...
Get out of my way. We've got to stop Corey. And that proton gun will do the trick.
Your Highness will only...
Attention all space patrol units. This is an emergency.
This will silence him.
Commander Corey calling all units. This is an emergency.
Without a trace. Both of them.
That will take care of Corey from here.
If we can't continue to moon number 8, someone may have heard his spacesuit.
We'll change back to again. Perhaps we can proceed directly to planet X. The space patrol will be... Oh, no.
What's the matter, Your Highness?
The jewel. Well, where is the jewel box? I had it in my hand a while ago.
That's what I was trying to tell you, Your Highness. You put them there on the edge of the control panel when that robot ship appeared. Corey must have taken them when you weren't looking.
My treasure. Corey had it when the proton gun blew him up. My tools disintegrated. Why didn't you warn me?
I see, Your Highness.
You idiot! I have to think of everything around here. Now what are we going to do?
You won't need those jewels now, Baccarati.
Corey!
Take care, Malengo, Happy.
Yes, sir.
All right, Baccarati.
Are you going to be sensible, or shall I fix it so nobody will mistake you for your cousin?
You will. I've had enough.
You can cover it, Happy.
Yes. I said you were in those spacesuits.
Sure you did. I didn't want you searching the ship for the spacephone I was really using, so I used 2 suits as decoys. We're heading for moon number 8. You're going to show me that robot receiving station, Baccarati. A few hours later, Buzz sets Baccarati's cruiser down on the rocky surface of Saturn's moon number 8. Then he and Happy hold ray guns on Malengro and Baccarati as the 4 men, clad in spacesuits, step out on the airless Saturn.
Keep moving, Baccarati. Stand at the foot of this big cliff, Corey. You and Malengro go first. Watch your step, Happy. That's quite a drop. Move along, Malengro. You're in my way. Your Highness. Baccarati, grab Malengro. He's falling. Oh! Grab that ledge. He's got it, sir. All right. Steady now, Malengro. I've got hold of your arm. And hang on to me. Yes, sir. All right, now. Pull. I've got you, sir. Now, just relax, Malengro. You're all right. There. Sorry, mess, Malengro. So watch it next time. Now it looked to me as though Baccarati pushed Malengro instead of trying to help him. Where is Baccarati? The rocket's
forgot all about him, trying to save Elaine. Happy. He's climbed up and headed for the ship. You watch Malengo. I'll go up after him. Yes, sir. Oh, we're too late. There he goes. Hey, get that. Baccarati's willing to kill this guy to make a getaway, and Malengo says, good luck. I have an idea Baccarati won't get very far. Space Patrol ships will be showing up pretty quick. Commander, the proton gun. Baccarati can blast us to bits. Not without the proton firing sound. I removed it from the gun right after the fight. I took that along with the jewels. Oh, boy, that sure saved our lives. Come on. Let's get down to the receiving station. With that information, we can round up Baccarati's spies in a few hours.
An action preview of next week's exciting adventure in just a moment. Hi, Space Patrollers. It's the day of the big parade on Terra, and just about every Space Patroller and his little brother have turned out to watch the fun. Man, it sure is a swell parade. Now, hey, wait a minute. What's that coming down the street now? Why, it's the Space Patrollers Drum and Bugle Corps number 5, all the way from Venus City, Venus. Wow, just listen to those supercharged bugles and hear those supercharged drums. One thing for sure, these Space Patrollers had their bite-sized checks today. And how about you, gang? You know, the best way in the universe to start off the day is with a big bowl full of bite-sized rice checks or wheat checks. Because no other cereal, flake, or puff contains so much energy in such concentrated bite-sized form. Yes, sir, you're packing in plenty of vitamins and minerals with every delicious bite you take. And that means Energy Plus for you. And remember, Space Patrollers, September is Better Breakfast Month. Getting a good, big breakfast every morning is important because you haven't had anything to eat for hours and hours. So before you march off for the day, have yourself a better breakfast, a real Space Patrol breakfast with rice checks or wheat checks. And now, a preview of next week's exciting Space Patrol adventure. Buzz and Happy have trapped one of Prince Baccarati's spies in a sub-basement in Jupiter City.
No use, Happy. We could never break it down.
That's right, Corey. You can't escape.
Coming from that speaker up there. Sothern, listen to me.
You listen to me. I'm getting off this planet, Corey. Prince Baccarati tipped me off that a guided missile has been launched toward Jupiter City. There's nothing you can do to stop it.
Be sure to join us again next week for the thrilling story, Target Jupiter, when wheat checks, rice checks, and Good Hut Wilson again present Space Patrol! Space Patrol, created by Mike Moser, starring Ed Kemmer as Commander Corey and Lynn Osborne as Cadet Happy, was written by Lou Houston, produced and directed by Larry Robertson, executive producer Mike Devery. Other players were Bela Kovacs, Norman Jolly, Ken Mayer, and Dick Fields. Dick Tufel speaking. Now, don't forget to tune in next Saturday and every Saturday when wheat checks, rice checks, and Good Hut Wilson again present Space Patrol! And be sure to see another exciting Space Patrol program on your local ABC television station. Consult your local paper for time and channel. This program is broadcast to our armed forces overseas through the worldwide facilities of the Armed Forces Radio Service. Space Patrol came to you transcribed from Hollywood. This is ABC Radio Network.